Hi guys, welcome to Shake the Mic. This evening I'm joined by a weird and wonderful character. They don't really make many like this. Man of many names. Robert Dixon, Ron Quentin, Thinking Caps 369. Welcome on, my man.
Cheers, bro, thank you.
Thank you very much for coming on.
You know, it makes sense.
Pull that mic a bit closer to you, man. So it's nice, it's all in here, yeah?
That's it, mate, that's better.
Okay, no problem.
Don't charm me, sound good.
Normally, I've got a roadmap for this type of thing, and I know where I'm going to go with it.
I know what you're going to say next.
But with yourself, I don't.
That's fair enough.
And I don't know whether that's fucking frightening, exciting, what, but we're going to get into it, and it's going to be good.
Just flow with me, just, you come at me however which way you want, and I'm an open book. That's what life's about at the minute.
Let's start with the name 369. What does it represent?
The coherency of three hearts. Your bollocks at your bottom, or your belly brain, your heart centre brain, and your egotistical one at the top. 369. Like Tesla said, if you understand energy, frequency and vibration, 369. The number codes behind your body parts and the coherence, then you can find the keys to life. Somehow the wacky woolly back has managed to decrypt it somehow. It's that's where it comes from. Being able to coherently use my brains and understand how they work coherently.
So 369, explain to me, how does it work?
We are, on our very basic level, a ball of energy. Like a torus field, like the Earth. So we're like a mini Earth on a big, massive spider's web of Earths, repetitively, like mirrors of us. Understanding that that's an energy ball bouncing around at a frequency, giving off a vibration. So if I wake up in the morning, I'm at a zero. I'm at zero. I then choose to start going up a level. So I'm a zero, but I'm a 369 all the time. So I'm always past, present, future, 369. How it explains and it entwines into each other is quite heavy. So on a basic level of we're men, understanding, there's worker bees who are threes, there's alchemists, like managers and that, entrepreneurs, number sixes, and then there's top end, like rule the world, fellas, number nines, on a level. So on like a business, fellow who has to run the shop floor, the manager, the owner, football team, defender, midfielder, attacker. He ain't scoring goals without them two doing their graft behind them. He ain't defending without him scoring goals and keeping the ball at the top. And everything goes entwined and goes together.
You wouldn't have the 6 if it weren't for the 3, and you wouldn't have the 9 if it weren't for the 6.
Exactly.
Baby.
It's all, the sum of the parts is equal. We are the greatest city in the world of 369, because we do 25 billion, zillion, trillion out of number 9s, because the sum of our parts has always been monumentally huge. That's what the whole of the last 36 year cycle, again, 369, 36 years divided by 4 is 9 equal cycles of 9 years, or 4 cycles of 9, and it loops again, it loops, and they just move the agenda on a little bit more. It's 36 year cycle. So 36 years ago we had HIV and AIDS, Cold War, let's break Liverpool to bits. 36 years later you've got COVID, well, the Cold War, terrorism, let's break Liverpool to bits. Nothing's changed apart from the agenda of breaking us. Cosmic Scouse kids, I'd pull it. It's the easiest way of putting it. We had just started on as we come. Tina Turner, we are the children, the last generation. We are the ones left behind. We don't need another hero. We just need to know the way home. We all know the way home, but there's a lot of dark energy on good energy. So most of us, on the natural, when we wake up in the morning, on the nought, you get a choice of plus or minus. Then you come down to a numbers chart. Most of the kids who've got parents now, we've got kids at school, and understand the last 10 years it's a plus and a minus number chart. It's mad how they work it, but when you wake up in the morning you're a 0. You choose how do you wake up. You can go straight for your phone, -10, downstairs with some sugar puffs, minus 55. a nice bit of orange juice, like normal sort of with bits orange juice, not from concentrate, which is good for you. Maybe might come down a few. Then you go and get in your hire car. That costs you £1,000 a month to go to your 21 grand a year job. And by the time you get to work, you're having a boss morning. You're on minus 55,000. You don't even know it. You know what I'm saying? Whereas
shit,
you don't realise it. But then we've been programmed. Most people now are trying to play this plus in the morning and being selfish. But then you've got to again be the realism of where we're at is we're only ever going to go as far on the planet together as a one as the lowest person's biggest jump. So if that person at the bottom of the rung of us all can't get any higher than plus 10,
we're fucked.
We're all fucked, because him at the top's no good being infinity and beyond and having a 29,000 billion sports cars and loads of mansions and slaves. Because, well, guess what? You're a slave as well, mate. Because it's illegal to use a legal name. So we're all
that later.
No, but we're all. That's what I mean. This, it's that fucked against us in this big spider web. Everything's all together in information. It's trying to be positive in a big negative sea. But the best thing about it is that's only on tellies and phones. It doesn't exist anymore. That's where we're really going to start playing 369 and everyone start coherently doing community together, because we don't need to work for no one anymore. It doesn't exist. It's mad it's crazy the things I say, but it's madness. It's making a difference, and it is making a difference, because that book there behind you, the Stephen Covey one, I was given that book a couple of years ago now.
Heavy
book, mate.
One of the best books I've ever read.
Any man who understands a quantum jump and leap in life and understands the basic fundamentals of how to do this and be a leader, that's your book. You can't get nowhere without reading that book. I was given it to, I was passed on it.
For anybody watching who doesn't know what book he's talking about, it's this book here behind me called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's a cracker of a book.
Yeah, by Stephen R. Covey. He's an absolute genius.
You like your reading, get the book.
It's one of them books, it's not even like an heavy read. You'll read that 5 or 6 times over 2 or 3 years and you'll keep going back to it like your Bible.
Yeah, you've got to go back to it.
It's fundamentally understanding. Lost me. I'll remember me chain of it. I'll write it down in a minute. It's understanding. I do this all the time because I'm thinking.
Okay, brother.
Being dependent. So being dependent, then independent, then interdependent of me, myself, I, and then we. You know what I mean? You can only do we as a team if you can do yourself first. I am. The hardest thing we've got at the minute is the new thought stuff. I've got notes here about it, just in case it lost me chain of thought. The new thought stuff, boss, but it's all love and light and that. Doesn't deal with the dark side of the yin and yang. That book explains to people how to go back and strip yourself back down to understanding when you can coherently do yourself and properly do yourself coherently. Then and only then can you be dependent for yourself and then interdependently help people. I think the problem lots of us have in the city is we're naturally interdependent people. So then it comes to the 369. Dependence, independence, interdependence. Because defenders are dependent, midfielders are interdependent, and then, you know what I mean, it's teamwork. So it's having to go up the chain, but then it's not a chain. We're all 3s, 6s and 9s. It's having the bollocks to go knowing you're number 9 at the top and go, I can be that in the middle.
Yeah.
And most people, the persona comes in.
Do you think that we fluctuate from 3, 6 and 9?
Massively. Because everyone starts at 1 and 2. Everyone wants to be number 1, don't they? They don't want to be number 9. They want to be a number 1, mate. Yeah. Let's go and be number 1. And it's all bent, because in the Western world, it's 3, 6, 9 the other way. So we're taught up here first. Instincts out your brain, your ego. Then this. So you use your heart centre, and then here last. So what they call the old dick for brains. You know what I'm saying? And it's understanding us in the West compared to the Far East. So if you're a martial artist and you've understood the Far East sort of education, it's instincts, heart centre, and then your brain at the end. The thinking bit, it's a sense. Doesn't need to be used. It's a sense. People here have this as their instincts over here, and that's the problem. We're just programmed the wrong way with a telly.
Do you think different cultures are programmed differently, but do you think different cultures prioritise things differently, like the 3, 6 and 9, they see it in a different light? It's
certainly in the Far East, us in the Western world, democracies, under the 3 crowns, you know, it's where it comes back to leaving everyone. We've been dumbed down and kept into a slave system for a long, long, long time. That's what it's to do with. They know we can coherently be cosmic, and they just want to keep us down. And that's why they've tried really hard to stop us coherently understanding that. That's why they have this numbers 1, 2, 3, and they don't let us naturally evolve as we're babies. You know what I mean? And you get your umbilical cord cut, your tree of life gets cut as a kid, and you get raped by the government straight away. That's how it's basically the way you're putting it. The minute you're born, they're on you. Nothing stops. And that's why we struggle with the 369 coherence of the 3 brains over here. It's hard.
When you say we get raped by the government straight away,
yeah.
Is that about your birth certificate that you
well, the last 20, 30 years. Yeah, all of it. It's from the... I've been trying to explain this wacky stuff I talk to people about in the 369, explain that, and take them right back down to the start of, we have to learn to forget everything we've ever been taught. Everything. Because we've been dumbed down so much. So, this city is the greatest city in the world. We are the answer to the world's problems at the minute. We are. But they've known this forever. They've spent 36 years setting this city up, red and black ants, so it fights itself from the inside out. So they can just go, leave that be. They can't even fill George's Hall 2020. We're done. No, it's mad. It's mad. That's how they're looking at it in Whitehall. We're done. Look at them watch now. The football fans will blame them. The Liverpool, Everton fans will fight against each other. Everton fans will fight against each other. Liverpool fans will. We're all policed by ourselves now. The Anfield rap and Red Men TV police the fans, and whatever they say, everyone will jump for hoops because it's not Elton Wellesby on the telly anymore, or it's not someone on the news, and things have changed. The city polices itself.
Do you think that the way you said, like, 36 years ago, it was the same and it's still the same now?
Yeah, it's changed.
Do you think people have changed? The way they think? Their outlook?
The problem we've had in the city, and people in the city can't see it, it's been socially engineered. It's like genetic cleansing, but social engineering cleansing. So you've had the city split from proper socialist, Hillsborough, 1989, and the city comes together like never before, and continues to do it up until probably 2015. We had 2012 when they come out, the Tories, you know, I won't mince my words about the shite Jamie Webster talks about, come out of it like the other last week. I'm not going to mince my words on everyone. Some kids need to stop talking politics. Each to their own. But prime example, the football fans who for years have had this, labelling something to negate their bollocks, the Tories, and then start jumping through hoops with the same people. If that's who you want to, puppeteers, that's the sticker. So if you want to point at the sticker, Tories, and then doing everything you can to go the match for these same people who in 2012 admitted they corporately killed 96 of us, and together as the city has just been pulled away from that coherent socialist. And if people, I don't know who kind of can't see it in the city, it's heavy. What the things I say, people are like, whoa, it's a bit much, but it's fact. Liverpool 1 got put in, 2008 come, capital culture. The city's 2-tier now. The city's elite people, blue tick hunters, and the kids at the bottom trying to look up to them. I've watched this culture in the Far East. You get the kids who are slaves and the kids at the top. The kids who are serving and the kids who are doing it in this city. The kids who are selling drugs and the kids who aren't. All over Cheshire. The whole country follows us in this city. I've always lived outside. It can be rollers in your hair. It can be sports cars. It can be walking gear. It can be climbing more hammer. It can be any of the things that people copy. But people look to this city because we're the coolest kids in the world. When the kids in the city are looking at each other and it's a the kids who haven't got no dough, single parent families, and they're having to have grand coats to go to school. What's that about? We had sprayways and burgers when we were young. That was too much. They were 200-300 quid coats at the time. Now these kids are paying the same prices, so they're getting a good deal, but it's like, what is that about? And then it's social engineering. It's turning the greatest city of that wasn't done, turn it right into it, and no one can see it.
Do you think they put consumerism before everything else? And
absolutely, mate.
And they're just blind to see that?
Blind. People can't see it. I've been at the football club, so we've been hustled out of tickets to go to our own ground.
Disgraceful, innit? Very hard.
I was dealing with a kid there the other year to get myself better. Another nerves break down to the match. I'm paying 150 quid a ticket, and my mate's like, "You paying that for?" It's like, "Cause it's my thing. I'd pay £1 billion if I had it. It's my energy exchange." I said, but ultimately, he said, this is the problem we've got. I'm getting tickets off a kid from Stoke who's got 17 fan cards and is charging me for tickets that price because he can, because he knows that's their game, and that's it's the full setup. It's turning the one social aspect of the city, the cathedral, where every young kid, certainly as a man, you can go and learn the prosper aspects of being a Liverpool man. And that's not just about Liverpool Football Club, Everton as well. But it's been that pushed against each other. You can't do it anymore. You can't understand the social aspect of it. And then it's not a social aspect now. It's a class game. It's a class war. Football's on a telly. Football doesn't exist anymore. It never did. It was always red and black ants. It was a Roman circus made by John Holding and his mates. They were the Zionists of the day. Well, John Holding was a good man. But Everton were made in a Masonic lodge. So people need to understand the history. In 1882, or 1892, sorry, Liverpool was done. 1882, the Bills of Exchange were done. There's reasons why we are now where we are in history. And 150 years ago, 120, 130 years ago, the pyramid kids of the day were setting it up for now, because this has been coming a long, long time. People don't quite realise how big, the bigger picture, and that's where we're very narrow-minded. People see last week, don't see 20 years ago, don't see 30 years ago, and it's just like, can't you see that in front of your face? That's what I think is, people are blinded by what they can't see, and it's right in front of you, right at you. Couldn't even fill George's Hall for a march for people killing us.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Is it nuts, mate? Nuts.
So, what you're saying, spot on. A lot of what you're saying. How did you come to be what you are today? Let's break this down. Let's go back a little bit.
Going back to being the little boy.
Yeah.
The baby. Born in a Countess Chester Hospital to a proper old school Scouse ma. Got a theory about how we're all born, men come from. If you're the first born man and you've got uncles, you're like your mum's uncles. So I'm like me Campbell, me Scouse family. You've got me Irish Celtics, me dad, my mum's Scouse. So I've always been like, I've got 4 uncles, I've always been the 5th, because I was the oldest, sort of the oldest grandson. I've got an older cousin, but my cosmic uncle who would like to pay tribute to today while me and my uncle died on Christmas Day, my Uncle Peter. God rest him. He knew his God power. He was godly blessed in the early 80s. Took a lot of people a long time. Until he's passed to realise just what power he was bringing. But a lot of people in the Northwest know Uncle Peter's PC, the kid with the radio doing frequencies. So it's no coincidence that snap, crackle and pop, me 2 uncles. That's why I'm here. I end up being my uncle's carer, my older uncle. And that's why I'm here. So I just want to pay the ultimate respect to my uncle and just, Boosh, love you, brother. Yeah. The world will know who he is in the next couple of years. Cause,
that was nice. Yeah,
this is because of him. It's my Scouse heritage is why I'm here. I said to my granddad in 2013 when he passed away, I was going to have a statue on George's Hall, only when he's on a slab in the Countess of Chester. I don't know how I was saying it, but I've always known things, especially since 2005. I've always had this, I don't know, just know about George's Plateau, just know.
What was the 2005
when
moment?
Liverpool come back with the Champions League? I'd called it 6 months before, 8 months before. We got beat 1-0 in the second qualifier, and I just knew we were going to win it. I said to my uncle, we get out the group, we'll win this. My uncle was like, shut up, you clown. You just got beat, mate, shut up. I went to we got out the group. I said, this is the treble team from 2001. I said, this is Ulie's team. I said, these are geniuses, but he says, we'll win this, mate, get out the group. And we were sat there, the 3 of us, we beat Olympiacos. I said, I told you we're going to win it. And he went, shut up. And he come back from Istanbul. I was supposed to go to Turkey to watch it, mate, and I fucking spent my money. They couldn't go. So I was on the statue there in the front of George's Hall, mate, and they come back, and I just knew. Thinking I can tell the future here.
Do you believe you can?
Yeah. I'm quite. Yeah, I've done it quite regularly in the last couple of years. Told people this will happen on this date, this score, things, and it happens.
Is that your mission? You know, that's the other thing that I want to understand. Do you know what? We'll come to that later because I feel like I'm going to lose track of.
No, we went back to me being little.
Back to you being little.
Yeah. So, born in the Countess of Chester. We lived in Ellesmere Port at the time, up until I was 4 or 5. Then we moved to Runcorn. My mum and dad both black belts at karate when I was a kid. So, started karate.
So, any messing around, you were getting tuned a foot in?
yeah, by my mum. I was getting my ass kicked.
So you started karate? Yeah.
I was the karate kid, mate. We were the original one. We got it the first time round. That was my life. I lived in a street in Runcorn when we moved there. Moved to Runcorn when I was 5. To Wellbrook Park, just off Murder Shore. where I met lots of my friends I know very well now. And there was 8 black belts in the street. We only lived in the street of 10 houses, so you can imagine that. You know what I'm saying?
Don't want to go down that street.
No, it was the walk through to the pub as a few kids got wiped out by my dad through the years because he just couldn't be arsed with people. And yeah, I had a boss upbringing. I was lucky. We lived in a detached house. Never seen my dad hardly. We were at this bollocks off at Hotel. Never seen him. My mum did everything for me. Still wiped my arse at 10. I'm quite happily say that. I'm not ashamed. My mum's my queen. I wouldn't be sat here if it wasn't for my mum. Given her life up the last couple of years. I've had to do some heavy soul searching. And if it wasn't for my mum, I wouldn't be here. I've put her through well. And she's backed me to the hills, knowing I'm her crazy diamond. So thank you, because I love you. And it's with her and my son, the only 2 people that I have to do it for. And after that, everything else is a bonus. So yeah, I was the blue-eyed boy, and my ma basically wasn't a blue-eyed boy, it was a pain in the arse. Told a lot of fibs.
As all kids do.
Yeah, you tell a story, people want to hear, don't you? So when you've took the ice cream, don't say you've took the ice cream. Yeah, started playing football when I was about 8. My mum taught me how to play football. My mum was boss at football when she was a kid. My mum was mega at football. Taught me how to play football.
You don't normally hear shit like that. It's only my dad taught me how to play football.
No, my dad, my old man don't do football, mate. He hates it, he can't stand it. My dad is a samurai warrior, old school witness. Gary Spears, one of his associates and pals when he was younger. Gary Spears is a Maori fella, absolute warrior. A lot of the men in the city will know I'm talking about. He used to call my dad the witness. So my dad was very good at being quiet, saying nothing and going bang when needed to. So he couldn't stand football shit, especially around the 80s and all that. We had clowns fighting multiple. Wasn't his bag. So him and my mum coming together was just for me and my 2 sisters.
Strange, innit, how opposites attract and shit like that.
Just crazy opposites attract. They come together when I was my report. Through my Uncle Michael and Uncle Peter, my dad knowing them. And yeah, they made the 3 of us, me and my 2 sisters.
Teenage years?
My life got blew apart by my mum and dad, splitting up 2 days before I started high school. So I'm in a little bubble, 1994, about to go to high school, St Chad's in Runcorn. And my mum and dad had the Barney, first proper Barney they'd had in front of me. On World War III and we carted off to Ellesmere Airport 6 hours later, and my life just completely changed. Got my uniform hanging up, play for the best team in the world, Brookvale. We about to go and win a treble. Life was class, mate, couldn't have gone any better. I just got my black belt in the July, so life was good. And then life was just finished in a different way. Other kids, it wasn't a loss, but I was a mummy's boy. I won't go into the politics of what was happening in my life because I've gone through and decrypted that, and I'm not throwing.
You don't want to
I'm not here to. My life's my life. I've chose to do my life. I've chose to come here, and chose my mum and dad. My mum and dad didn't choose me. I chose them. I'm not going to throw them under the bus and stuff that hasn't worked out when we were younger. But it had to happen for a reason, and I just knew something wasn't right. And I'd always been with my dad adventures, and 6 weeks later I got asked, what do you want to do? And I went, I want to go live with my dad. So I went to live with my dad in Chester. Funny enough, we've just moved, me and my son, and the time period, like the ages as well, is mad.
Similar.
Very, very, within 18 months, when I moved there, we've 100 yards around the corner in our new house. So it's boss.
Takes you back at the same time.
The cycle, the loop, brother, the cycle. Call it what you want, back to the scene of the crime, of going into my shell. I've gone back to the place I went into my little shell to come back out of it again. Ruined me who I was as a kid, really. I was the kid who didn't have many mates. I had friends, but didn't have mates really in terms of
You had associates, but they weren't friends.
Associates, yeah. No one would. I always knew no one would go to the lengths I would go to for them. If we were in the streets and it went off, as I went to Chester, 12, 13, 14, I was a one-on-one kid. And our kids I were with were in a massive group from an estate in Chester. And it was their school, and it was like 1,900 a night in the school, like 500 in a year nearly. So he was...
Big year.
I was massive year, and I was not ate up quickly. I found my place. Best not to cause me dad grief, because I'd been fighting every second. I'd been blasting chins off and putting them in hospital. Yeah, I was.
Was you different as a kid? The way you're different now, you're different. You're not the same as everybody else, and it's good to be different. Yeah, was you like that as a kid?
Yeah, I was always the loud. I was always the wacky loud. wacky fucker, yeah.
It's nice, though, innit?
Yeah, I've always been me. I've always been used to being an individual. You versus you, what everyone does well now. I've had that since a baby. When people are up to 7 now, they go, oh, show me the 7-year-old to show the adults. At 7, I was a samurai ninja warrior of punching men in the chest and breaking the ribs, and that was just a different kid.
It takes a very strong type of person to be yourself, doesn't it?
Yes, brother, it's hard. It's not easy. It's the one thing I pride myself on the most. I'll be very emotional today as we're talking.
Well done, man.
I fucking love being me. It's took a long time to enjoy being me. I give myself pride. I've been a lone parent man on my own for 12 years and pulled medicals off because I shouldn't have done it. Yeah, I won't bounce out of sync what we're talking about because I'll bounce out of sync. But yeah, I've always loved being me. I've always had fun being there.
Good on you.
Yeah,
that's why I've been so much looking forward to
get
you on, man.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Different.
I
when they say God broke the mould when he made you, they did, man.
They did with us all.
They did with us all. They did. But a lot of people, they're only them behind the front door. They're only them when they're in the fucking bedroom. Do you know? They're only them when they're with the best mate. But you put them in a room full of people, or you put them on a chair in front of a camera, what's going to be in front of potentially the world, and get them to fucking be them. And it's a different story, and that's what this is all about. Shake the mic, brother.
Yeah, shake the mic. Shake the motherfucking mic. I'm here to shake the world to its core. I don't mince my words about it. I'm going to be the most famous man in the world, bar none. Not for any other reason, and I'm here to change the planet for forever.
When you say that, do you truly believe
Yes, brother, yeah. Bar none. Yeah. I believe it with every... with every fibre of my being, that's what I'm here to do. It's been hard because I've had to give my son up. I had to tell my son it's been coming for a cold couple of years. I've had to make some hard moves. I don't suffer fools gladly. People who talk right in my path. Because if someone's been to hell, I know it before you get near me. Because I know I can read. I'm an energy. I read people's energy. I know people's stories. So I know when someone's being a charlatan in this healing game we're playing in this city. We were all sent here to be healers, but not to heal each other in this city. Learn your trade, get your XP, fuck off, and go and do it somewhere else in the world. Don't do it on your own doorstep. Don't shit on your own doorstep if you need to practice making mistakes. There's plenty of elite people here to fix the people in this city without people playing. And I'm not going to mince my words for no one. Anyone got a problem? Jump off your phone, jump off the bandwagon and stop playing a game you can't play. Because I'm not messing around.
Do you think a lot of people choose to be ignorant and they just want to get on with being comfortable, but you don't want to fucking do that? Is that where you're going with it? Ignorance
is bliss, but we've all been programmed into a culture of this. This is no one's fault, brother. People can take me the wrong way. I'm not personally attacking anyone. I'm attacking the personas we've all been used to being addicted to. I'm telling everyone, if we strip this right back, we've all been head fucked. I'm just trying to get everyone to go right back to the start so we can all coherently move forward. Otherwise, we're always going to be trying to drag someone. I'm not leaving no one behind. I'm not walking past homeless men in the street and leaving them. It's hard to do it every day. You can't keep serving everyone.
There's a lot of people in the world right now who, in my opinion, who only want to know people for their own ends. Like
win-win. City's full of it.
If you've got a blue tick, they want to fucking know
you.
If you're up there, but the homeless guy in the street, they might act like they give a fuck about him because they want to get the phone out or they want to say to someone else, but do you really give a fuck about him? A lot of people don't, man.
Yeah, lose-lose situation because you're gaining nothing from giving him £1. No one's going to go, oh, lad, aren't you great? No one's going to butt your ego, give you a little touch up or give you a little foreskin and ball back. And you might just get dirty hands or you might catch something off him if that's how you're inclined because you're not in your art centre. If you're in your art centre,
you don't give a fuck.
Nothing's hurting you. You can't nothing kill you. You're dead already. You know that this is a fucking just a blag. None of us exist. When people understand the basic fundamentals of what we are, this is just earth, law, land, air, and water. Just manifest into a little trickle of light, so people can see that's your energy source, is it? It's all the same thing. Just people can't get their heads around it. People talk a good game, cosmic and spiritual in the city. I'll take it to levels people don't want to. But the thing is I know I don't know. This hoodwinkery, the whole city's been turned on its head because people who know information are sitting back like, because it's, I don't know, it's not my place to tell people. No, it's not my place to tell people how to do it. But it's my place to spread my experience of life, because I know stuff that people don't know, and that's what it's about.
Do you feel that's what you've been sent to do?
Yes, bro. I understand I chose to come here. The bigger picture, if I chose to jump into this body, this avatar, and forget everything I ever knew, to remember it in this journey, to put it back to the earth now, mate, yeah.
See it on your WhatsApp after your name.
It's illegal to use a legal name. It's heavy. No, it's BCCRSS. It's heavy.
After your name on your WhatsApp, it says 50 to 64 hertz.
50-64, yeah.
What does that represent?
That's the gamma rays band of hertz you give off when you open your pineal gland for your kundalini rising up your back.
Whoa. Stop.
Slow down, lad.
Slow down, my man. For the layman watching, yeah.
To layman terms.
For me, to give us the idiot's guide to what you've just said.
Ask me the question again and we'll go back from the start.
After your name on your WhatsApp, it says 50 to 64 hertz. Is that some sort of frequency? What does that represent?
So I've written some notes down here. I've had podcast notes for a couple of months. Not that I need to cheat or anything. It's just obviously it's just understand. It's like a book.
I prefer you to fucking make notes so you don't lose track, because it's so hard when you're sitting there to try and have a conversation. The last thing I want is for you to go away and go, oh fuck, I wanted to say that to him, or I wanted to share that with the world. With anybody who's watching.
This is what I've been sent here for. I said to a good friend of mine who gave me that book, who's got in a place around the corner. I'm not mentioning people's names today.
You don't have to,
I'm not dropping people's names, I don't need to. He's a G. He's a special man in my life. He's my brother. And he's allowed me to understand the magic stuff that went on in my life. I've been searching for answers for a good couple of years. 26th of March, 2020. I was in a dark place. Went to buy some cocaine off my friend. I was going to go and do something really bad. My son had been my mum's a couple of weeks. COVID had started, and then my son had been my mum's a couple of weeks. And I was trying to get. I've been getting well for a long time. I'd been running and that, but I was in a dark place. And I just had this. Whoa! I'm never going to do that. I'm never going there. And just turned around to me and said, "I'm not doing that." Went home and found this program on Amazon. Everyone go and look for it. It's the most important thing I'm ever going to tell you, apart from the next thing I'll tell you probably. You know what I mean? Inner world, outer world, inner soul, outer soul, it was called. It explains who you are as a being, who you are as energy, frequency and vibration. It explains to you where you are and your understanding of how what makes up you.
Say it again, what was it called?
Inner worlds, outer worlds.
And where can you find it?
You can find it on YouTube, you can find it on Amazon. You can rent it off YouTube about $4.99, but there's one at the top, it's like 2.5 hours long, but then it's split into 4 parts, like Kundalini, Samadhi. So you can go through the 4 parts for free on YouTube.
So did you buy the cocaine or no? You just went home and put the fucking telly on?
No, literally I took the cocaine off my friend, turned around and went, started walking off and just went. I told him what I was going to do and he went, looked at me, walked 5 yards and threw it straight into the canal, turned around and went, hey lad, I'm not going to do that. Forget that. He's like, fucking hell mate, and I walked off. Got home and was just like, sort your shit out, mate. I was just looking for something.
What drove you to that point? Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, absolute. I've been alone, you know, it's hard not bounce around. After being a teenager in Chester, I've gone and joined the Air Force. Ended up going to Kuwait. Learned a lot about myself. Come out of the Air Force in 2005.
What was you doing in the Air Force?
Driving, mechanical transport driver. I was going to be a weapons technician.
How long were you there for?
5.5 years. I was going to be a weapons technician and my uncle talked me out of it. My uncle was the 3rd longest serving member of the Royal Air Force ever. He's got the same name as me, Robbie, but he was a super tech. So when he went in, rather than do one trade, he went like, where's everyone goes? Trade, and then corporal, sergeant goes up the ranks. He went trade, went back to start trade, went back to start trade. So, so where they could do an engine, he could build the whole plane on his own. So he said to me, if you don't like the forces, you're not going to get on here. You'll be one that come out 12 months. And I went, yeah. He goes, well, that weapons tech mate's 4 years training before you even get to being a bum. He said, you said it's great for your brain. He goes, but if you come out 22, 23 as a weapons technician, he goes, you're not getting a job.
What are you going to do with it?
Not getting a job as a demolition man, mate. All that he goes, you get when you're 50, you get a job.
How old were you when you joined the forces?
17.
So straight out of school.
Straight out of school. Had a year.
Fucking about partying.
4 months of taking magic mushrooms.
What was that like? Trippy?
I'd done it, very trippy. I took magic mushrooms when I was 12.
Did you?
Yeah, well, they were free, mate. You know what I mean? And I didn't like smoking. My friends started smoking weed when we was in year 8. And I was just like, you know what I'm saying? I don't like fags. My mum and dad smoked all the time as a kid. I fucking couldn't stand it, hated it. We were the generation of kids getting a bong of fag smoking in the back of the car for you. When the window was open, it blew it back in your head, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was always like that. So yeah, mushrooms are my thing. It was like, oh, that's good. You know what I mean? Having buckets and that.
And what was it like when you took the mushrooms when you were 12? What was that experience like? Can you recall it or?
Yeah. The first time ever. You don't understand that. You haven't got a clue about the ether. You haven't understand that everything around you there's something right in front of you. You know, people don't understand the bigger picture of any energy and frequency. You don't get what you are then, and you open your cosmic portal up. And when you open up and you're young and pure, loads of things can jump in. So 1994, 1995, 96, 97, 98. You know what I'm saying? Every year taking up. And then 1999, I left school, and then I think it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then on a Wednesday goes to my mate's house. Paddy, you're not bad. I've got to say this because it was just one of my mad stories. As a kid, and we get to his house with 2 shopping bags full. We put it in, and we would just use to make a cup of tea, put them in, bit of a sieve, nice and light. You know how it is. And he's got a potato masher out of this massive cooking pan. I'm like, what you doing, lad? He's like, that's how you do mushrooms, mate. And he's mashing them up into like a tar, and then he gets his mum's tights out.
Where did you get the mushrooms from?
I can't tell you the field in Chester. A field near the Piper in Chester.
Jeez, you've got these bags of mushrooms.
Yeah,
like,
take them to my mate. He just does it. Absolute like tar it was. Like put them through with tights, like squeezed them through, and it was like thick tar. It was horrible. Never had. As this mug full of tar, and thought I was dying about an hour later. Really thought I was gone. I was absolutely.
Were you 12 at this point? Or
No, I've 16 now.
16, yeah.
I'm really thought it's the first time in my life I've done anything stupid. I thought, oh mate, I've done something daft here. And I'm like, take me to the hospital.
Too far.
Yeah, I'm in a bathroom with fish all over the wall, so I couldn't stop sipping because I was off. He's like, get in the car, you're not bed. He's like, take you for a drive. So I'm out the car, and they're like, feel better now, mate, take me back. I knew. And then I've joined the Air Force a year later. Didn't think nothing of it. I've come out the Air Force. You know, like every other kid in the forces, we all carry on taking drugs and doing us working class kids, whether from Liverpool, Runcorn, Manchester,
doesn't matter,
London, doesn't matter, whether it's Bryce Norton, whatever camp you're at, Lehman, whatever camp you're at, we all carry on doing us working class kids. Bryce Norton, biggest camp in Europe, worst camp for drugs, biggest problem in the whole of Europe, for an Air Force base, Army and Navy base, that's just what it is. We're working class kids.
So were people getting off the banners at work?
Not off at work, but I lived in a very central hub at Bryce Norton, so I was
at
very...
the end of the when you were on your downtime.
Well, no, I used to come home every 4 days. I'd be home every 4 days going Wigan Pier. I was blind to what was going on in front of me face. I was I've been very naive with a lot of things up until I went to Kuwait. And when I was in Kuwait, I learned about what was really going on in the world. The fact that we carried on bombing Iraq for 10 years between the 2 wars. The fact that the war wasn't happening. And it was Ramadan coming up and we weren't going into Iraq yet, but I'm putting pilots in the sky. A week Americans, a week us, and then a week of reconnaissance, and you swap the cameras over and then you take up and you're like, they're coming back and high-five and going mad. I'm like, what are these doing? And you realise, fucking hell, killing people, fuck me. Fucking hell. I said to me, what's going on here? Like, he went, fucking hell, kid, you've got a lot to learn. I went, thought we're not at war yet and that, you know what I mean? And then you start understanding what you're really doing there, the fact there's an oil pipeline down the middle and the Russians have got one end of it and you know, we get paid by Kuwait by oil. It's about democracy. We'll go to Kuwait, we'll start democracy, and then when we're ready, we'll go and take his democracy off him. You know, when we've set this weapons of mass destruction, the fact they had Stargates there and loads of gold palaces, nothing to do with it at all, like, you know what I'm saying? Nothing to do with the fact that Mesopotamia is where we originate from. And that's what it was about. I was due to go to the Falklands.
How long were you in Kuwait for? Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no. I was supposed to go for 6 months and extended. And was there for 9. It was boss, mate. Let me stay. Yeah. It was part of the time of my life. Honestly, it was the best time of my life. I was due to go to the Falklands on July the 10th. And it was like June the 20th. And the boss called me into work. I went, yeah, come in. He went, do you know where Ali Al-Salem is? I went, Ali Al Salem. I went, sounds like it's hot. He went, it's in the desert in Kuwait. I went, what about it? He said, there's your bag, you're going home today. You got a course Monday and then you can have a week off. You go in there on it. I think it was the 9th of July. I went,
your bosom?
I was like, fuck, I had an holiday booked with the boys, so we had to cancel the holiday. And then we went on a weekend party at Wigan Pier and then fucking off to Kuwait.
Your tunes are heavy on Insta, they're all Wigan Pier bangers, aren't they?
Well, it's that genre of old school, 2 turntables and a simple 2-channel mixer from 1987, or from 1978, Donna Summer and disco, right up to 1999. If it's digital, go fuck yourself.
You're big on your music?
Yeah, because we are, because that's
frequency.
Yeah, that's what I'm here to do, and boosh, you know what I mean? Boosh! It makes sense. We've all got a boosh inside us, of jacking ourselves, house music, you know what I mean? We're all jack. We're all here to jack our wire, jack our soul, and find the wiggly worm. I'm just here to do it in a crazy ass way people if just never could. Can't even imagine what's coming next. I'm going to have the world's greatest nightclub. They don't even know what's coming, you know what I mean?
Let's go back before we go forward. So we're in Kuwait now, yeah?
In Kuwait, learning about the way of the world. Fall in love for the first time. I met an American lady called Sharika Brodus. Head over heels with this absolute stunning queen from the Bronx, New York. End up having a crazy ass time. No sleep. I literally used to work 12-hour days, then work like 4 or 5 hours more, and then go and sit up all night, and they'd be like, you need to sleep, son. You've not slept for 5 weeks. I'd be like, no, I don't sleep, it's sound. Like, look, mate, you can't do that 300-mile drive today, it's dangerous. And I'd just be like, I've never slept since a kid. I don't need sleep, I rest.
You're still not sleeping now?
No, mate, even more so now, I'm too busy. Literally, I don't sleep, I rest, mate, to get... Probably every 6 weeks I'll have a 4 or 5 hour kip. And that's
Is that the God's honest truth?
My friends, Peter, Dean will tell you.
If I don't have 4 or 5 hours in a night, my head falls off.
Mark Cowell will tell you that. First week I met Mark Cowell, didn't sleep for a week because it was let's do life. I don't sleep. I don't need to. I understand. When my Kundalini went the other year, I tapped into the free source of energy every day, which I already knew was there. So.
You derailed me, so
Sorry.
No, it's okay, but you've just brought me back around. I asked you about the frequency. And
the 5064.
You went to explain it to me, but we just went fucking.
That's always the way. You come back down, that's how every converse works. It works itself out. It's the spider web of life. 5064 is the hertz, the banding. When your pineal gland goes, and you have your laser beam up to the sky.
So your pineal gland?
Yeah, your pine cone in your head. So we've got like an antenna inside our heads. I won't start going into heavy maths and going this part,
you don't need to. Just keep it basic for anyone watching who's a dummy like me, who hasn't really went down that line. You see
them celebrities talking about the third eye shite.
Yeah, your third eye and all that.
They think they're all in a fountain of, a club of knowledge. What actually they're in a club of is doing masquerade and dark arts, and they drink androchrome to try and get the same kick as what people will get off of mushrooms. DMT. It's become fashionable to do DMT. What people don't know.
Androchrome, what's androchrome?
Blood. Children's blood. A stress blood. What we eat with animals. So when an animal gets stressed and it goes to the abattoir and it knows 3 days before it's getting killed, then when the farm walks in, the sacrificial lamb, which knows it's getting sacrificed, it's stressed. Well, that's the energy and kick out of that. To dark people, that's their fucking ecstasy, mate. That's their MDMA. That's their pure. And they're the people that run the world and keep it dark.
So androchrome, you're saying that's children's blood?
Yeah, that's what's in blood, mate. But we have the same with our meat we eat. Androchrome runs through our meat. When you get the rainbow pattern through your meat, that's what androchrome is basically. But everyone's doing the same and everyone realises. Everyone plays this, satanic rituals. You're eating the same animals just because it's living and it's an animal. It doesn't have to be a baby or a child or a human. We were taught at school about Aztecs doing sacrifices on temples. Everyone forgets about that. In the 80s and the early 90s, we were taught about Aztecs and Incas at school doing sacrifices, human sacrifices. We forget that's how the world still works. We're going to kill ourselves.
Shit, this is deep. So right. Okay, so...
The pineal gland.
Pineal gland,
Yeah, third eye. So I heard Joe Rogan talking about it, 2019.
Joe Rogan, fucking done.
Boosh! Joe's got nothing on Jack, I'm telling you. Joe's already a celebrity, mate. He's already blue tick hunter. Joe's already the man. It's boss doing this type of thing, mate, when you've got a big audience to jump on your bandwagon straight away. All the celebrities. I can see Wes Brown's missus doing it with ITV and all that. It's all great. All these people, everyone getting fat. It's very fashionable to be different at the minute, and it's a new thing, but lots of kids have been playing this game for a long time, understanding. I've got a friend who does an Alpha Lovers, John Paul, Kevin Holland, absolute monsters of life, ex-football fanatics like me. We've all been doing this stuff for a long time. There's lots of people who are naturally...
Do you think there's a lot of pretenders out there who are trying to make money and milk the system out of it?
We could be another 3 podcasts just talking about them alone. Unfortunately, it's become fashionable to be spiritual. New thought is on its cycle of 36-year bullshit. Your Bob Proctors and that. Your Carnegies of the world. You know, not everyone's story's the truth. Because everyone who's dark, with dark intentions, whether it be for this or whatever reason, will come at you 51%, 49%. They're not going to come at you and tell you, I'm coming to rob the bank. It doesn't work like that. I'm going to rob your soul. I'm going to jack everything you got. I'm lying to you for money. They're not going to tell you that. They're going to come smiling at you. Not many kids are as transparent as me, because the new way you're doing health and wealth care depends on me being honest and straight with people. And if I'm not honest and straight and transparent, people can pick holes in me. I've been honest and straight. I've been doing stuff my life leading to this, not knowing why I was going to do it like this.
Yeah.
When I took my uncle on as his carer in 2013, my family picked holes in me, thinking I was doing it for this. And I've always been the kid who kept walking through a world of shit, knowing I'm telling the truth. And I'm telling the truth, because I was the kid who used to, as a kid at school in Runcorn, used to get 5 or 6 punishments of one thing, because it was easy to label me. And it was from a very, very young, I've always been used to going, well, doesn't matter what I say, you're not going to believe me. Because I told too many fibs, and the boy who cried wolf. So since about 8 or 9, I've always been that. So I'm looking to get better. Sees Tyson Fury, another one. A crazy man. Didn't get him at first. I can see the book of dust behind him.
I used to hate him, and I've grown to love him. Hate's a strong word, no. I used to dislike him, and I didn't understand him.
Didn't understand him for clown and wise man.
What the fuck?
For you.
The more I've seen him, the more he grew on me, and now I love Tyson Fury.
He's my absolute fucking hero. I'm planning to go and see him soon on the bike. I've got a couple of Dan Pennon as well as one. But he owned his shit. He owned his shit out of any man. And he's the king of the world. He's the fucking man. He's the G.
Man.
He got me with the Batman thing. I remember watching that thinking, what the fuck is this?
What the fuck's he doing?
He's embarrassing us. He's embarrassing us. And then a couple of weeks later, the week of the fight, I think that was 3-4 weeks before the fight, the week of the fight, I just sussed him, and I said to him, mate, night of the fight, get yourself a 1 on him to do him on points. And he went, lad, you can't stand him. I said, nah, mate, clown and wise man. He's played the ultimate blinder. I said, he's planned this his whole life.
Yeah.
I said, he mentioned something last week. I said, he knows Klitschko. I said, he didn't really mention it. I said, him and Klitschko have trained when he was a kid. And he's banged Klitschko as a kid, about 14, 15, as a big kid, and gone, I'm coming for you.
Yeah, he's on the list.
You're on my fucking list, lad. I'm going to smash you in Germany, you dosser. And he knew. And then the clown and the wise man trick finished. And I mean, and now look at him.
Yeah.
No one's laughing now.
Top man. Proper top man.
And him talking to Joe Rogan snapped me out of... I was sick. I'd had a good few years of... I've been a lone parent man on my own. So
is that what bent you into that
what,
dark time?
I've come back to talk about my penile gland going. I need to explain the dark, where I've been. You know,
to get to there.
Yeah. Come out of the Air Force 2005, met my son's mum 2006. I've got to be very careful, because the Zionist politics has been playing against me for a couple of years, because they thought I'd be weak and go to jail and commit suicide, and I'm too fucking strong for that. Nah, fucking, you got to have a set of bollocks bigger than that, so you're going to get me fucking doing self-weakness. The system's been bullshitted against me. I've been a lone parent man for 11 years. Went cap in hand, because I've been in the top tax bracket. After I come out of the Air Force, I worked for Shell driving petrol tankers and stuff. So I was on good numbers, and then I had to quit my job, looking after me. To quit my job at driving petrol tankers, look after my son in 2010, the very January 2010. And since May 23rd, 2011, I've not seen me at the partner. Walked out my life and just said, I can't do this. Not seen sight and sound. And
just got up and got off.
Oh no, we'd split up. We'd split up a year before. Things weren't right. I'll be careful. I'm not.
Yeah, you don't want to go into that.
No, I'm not. The one thing I will say, but this chick's got balls of steel. She's like me. We were meant to be, because my soulmate's like me. Balls of fucking steel. She's owned the shit, so I can't knock her out. Must have been hard to do what she's done. I broke her heart, not once but twice. And I know what it's like as a lone parent man to have had an abortion after your son was born, and then have to walk through every fucking parent's evening, through everything. I've been through hell as a lone parent man, doing everything on my own. When my dream was to have the family, I made the choice when I was in a good place, earning good money, to have a child because I was in love, and I adored this woman, and I'll do anything for you. The mistake I made was being me and honest, and telling her that I'll throw you under the bus with him, when actually I had to throw myself under the bus with them. And you make that mistake and there's no going back, and then things start happening in your relationship. The phones get involved. It was 2008, phones were just starting to get really heavy, Facebook and that, and then I just knew stuff was happening behind me back, and I had to walk, and then wasn't coping. I've got to be careful because there's a narrative been put out and stamped by a courtroom against my thing, and Cheshire Constabulary and fucking Cheshire Court can go fuck themselves with your fucking molestation orders, because it's illegal to use a legal name. So I don't know which one of you nonce judges is going to come at me with a fucking bullshit and put a name on a document. But come at me all you fucking want, because I'm innocent and we both know it. So they tried the best to put me in a noose the last couple of years and fuck myself over. But I've been to hell and back. It's been very, very hard doing everything on my own. I'm pridefully living this. My son is he's something special. How I've pulled it off, I don't know, because he's not like me. I'm like my dad, but my son's not like me. He's like his mum, and I've managed to be able to keep him that way, in his natural being him. Lots of things I can't teach him and show him, which is hard, because like my Scouse heritage, my son's heritage is nothing like me. He's proper. He's me, but he's not me. His soul is from his mum. Men's souls come from their mums. We have to just accept that. We want to be our dads, but our souls come from our mums. So I've had to, it's been hard. It's been hard because I've done everything for, if the fingers get clicked tomorrow and I've got to do the right thing, he's ready to go. Yeah. And 3 years ago, I had to look my son in the face and tell him I can't do this. I can't be a parent anymore because I'd done me rip. I was ready to go and drop him off on a doorstep and knock. Spoke to her in 2020, told her what my plans were. You better get ready. I'm about to be the most famous man in the world. I'm going to tell my story because that's what I'm here to do. Because if I went cap in hand to the government, NHS, please help me, and I was a number, and they left me wanting over the winter, went for 6 weeks, counselling, done a bit of CBT training, and then just got left. 8 weeks later, phoned up, I need some help, and got left for 25 weeks all winter.
They don't give a fuck.
They don't give a fuck. No one's coming. Not your mate who does cold water therapy, not your mate who does a walk, not your mate who owns a gym, not your mate who gives you the fucking touch up a dough, not your mate who gives you a lift. No one's coming for none of yous. That's why I'm here talking like this now. This shit is for fucking real. I'll look down the camera because you need to know. No one's coming. I had all the credit in the fucking world. I had all the credit in the world for being a man and a dad and a real fucking man, none of this fucking bullshit fake shite, on my own. Teaching my son how to read, write, teaching him how to potty train him, teaching him how to pull his fucking pants up, teaching him how to wipe his fucking arse, all of it on my own. Every single last fucking bit. And I got found wanting by the fucking government because they don't give a fuck. They're here to govern yours and my mentals. And that's what they're here for, Jack. They're here to govern our mentals and keep us fucking down, and especially us in this Celtic, Scouse, Manc circle. In this corner, you turn the map upside down and look at the bay. Look how strong the bay is next to Ireland compared to that little rat hole at the top of the map if you turn it upside down. The dark, Masonic, beady eyes of Chester, where the royal family and the Romans stopped to keep their eyes over the island. That's why they stopped at Chester. That's why Diva's there, the last stand. That's where the money comes from, lots of it comes back to Chester and the beady eye looking over the bay, over the city, and it's how it's head fucked. That's where Liverpool 1 comes in. Who put Liverpool 1 there? The Grosvenors. They don't own it now, but the Grosvenor family, the people who made Chelsea and Mayfair and London and Park Lane, City of London, that's who built Liverpool 1. These people, these Tories, Hillsborough, that's who built Liverpool 1.
We're all shopping there.
Everyone goes shopping there, everyone's fucking got it on every day, fly in, love it. Not even that, but people will shit on their own to carry on that persona, to carry on this blag. People, I'm willing to ask the tough questions now, because we can keep playing this blag. In 2020, I turned up to find a man. I'm going to say his name now. I turned up to find Mark Scanlon with the Far East. Penal gland had gone on the 26th of March. Ironically, the same day Bill Gates put his patent in for his ID stuff 2030, the chip in our wrists. The very same day that patent got put through in America, the day my penal gland went. And then I'm sorry, brother, go on.
It's okay. Your penal gland went. When you say that, what exactly do you mean?
So, we have meridians in our bodies. Yoga, your chakra system. We have central points of energy, 7 up your body and then more above you. We are an energy source that can tap in. So as a human, to the human experience, I won't go into the yings and yangs of it because I'll have a 25 different ways to explain it, but you've got light and dark of life. With everything comes balance down the middle. To be balanced, you're understanding the light and dark. Yeah. Having a strong core values, core beliefs, core strength. 3, 6, 9, the 3 banes. So I've always been naturally dead fit. What people find really hard, I find easy. When people go, say for instance, I went to train at Shredfast door a week, and I was training in the morning, and we had the lockdown, and we're training because we didn't give a fuck. Ta-da. And we were doing 3 sessions in the morning. It was fine. I mean, this guy, you know what I'm saying? Fuck them, it died. Fuck them, man. You know what I mean? Fucking stopping us training, fucking shitbags. There's no.
It's how it is, isn't it?
That's
how it was.
That was how it was at the time. It was like December 2020. Fuck them. And we were doing 2 or 3 classes in a row, and very quickly I just train all day. It's my thing. It doesn't bother me. It's from when I've been.
You're made for it.
When I've been a baby, but when some people play footy at 7, 8, 9, 5 and that, I was elite training at karate from 3 or 4, and I mean the kids I with were world elite. So when you look around, you see Tony Moran, you see Scano and all these kids. Strip that back to Tony's sons now. Tony Man, absolute G.
Tony, he takes his lad to the gym and all that.
That's me.
Top man Tony.
Exactly. That's
Tony. He's put time in him before.
One of his boys, he'll be like the karate kid. I guarantee it, mate. Because probably the little one. He's
he has them knocking around in the gym with him and that.
That's me, yes, Spider-Man, just that. And that's how it should be. That's play. Learning play. That's like animals, 2 big bucks or 2 big bisons or whatever they are, playing in that wild. That's it, mate. Let them play. Men play by learning fighting. Play fighting, that's what you do. And if you haven't had that in your life, we're the last generation of kids who played outside, learned to get nettle stings, learned to fucking cut your hand on that grass when you pull it and it split your hand wide open. Like, you know what I mean? It's understanding how things work. I was quite fortunate, but at the same time, it's elite. So there's no getting away from that. When you get to 10, 11, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, then you're in the Army and the Air Force, everything's elite. So the Air Force wasn't elite for me enough. I was, but then I come out of the Air Force and everything is like that. So then when I see Tyson Fury, I'm starting to get better. Everything's elite. Everything's all in, balls deep in. And because I'm fit, and I'm the one who's got the bollocks, put me in any gym in Liverpool, give me a week training with them, and I'll give any of them a run for the money. Any of them. Because I can. Because I've got 3 coherent brains, and they're running coherently when I'm running down the street, when they're thinking, I'm blowing out my chest. My brain's going, I'm sucking out my toes. Let's go. And I just think differently to people. What people find hard, they start sucking, I start getting warmed up. It's mad. That's just me. That's my cup of tea. It's me fun. And that. So when I'm starting to get better, I went balls deep in. My dad. I had to tell my dad in October 19 I wasn't well, and trying to get better. I had a nervous breakdown in 2018, 2 weeks before Liverpool played City, when I'd really been, because it's been breaking down since being a lone parent. Just
people around you, were they onto it or not?
My mum told me, we moved out in 2015, my mum gave me a book. 2014, my mum gave me a book about angel numbers and stuff. My mum's always been cosmic, never pushed it on me, never said, this son. Like all these kids now in the city getting cosmic shite pushed on them. Reiki healing and all that. Fuck off, behave yourselves. Not one Reiki healer between you, no. Because Reiki's natural. Reiki comes to you. You don't find Reiki. Sorry you don't like it, it's fucking true. You ain't getting Reiki course and Reiki master now 5. Fuck off, you're full of shit. I'm going to tell the truth. You don't like it, don't live a fucking blag. You aren't all here to fucking fix fucking other people. Fix your fucking selves first. Own your own shit, and then we can move forward. But you're not all here to be Reiki masters, and you're not. Because I'll tell you the 4 or 5 in the city, over the northwest, who are here, and over than them, you just aren't them. So it is what it is. People don't like the truth. Don't live a fucking lie. To earn a few quid of these. And I've always known I've had this energy inside me. Me chi. Found these devices in 15, looking after my uncle. These energy devices. And I've known about them for a while. So I've always understood inside my body, I'm an idiot, how they work. And then didn't really know where I was going. My diet went back again good, start of 2020. It said to me, Dad, I'm not well here. I'm using that shite powder to get off the beer. And he just said to me, sort yourself out. And he's my hero. He's my hero. My dad, he always had to say, sort yourself out. I went sound. And then a week and a half later, my best friend told me he was having a baby. And he's waited a while. Didn't think he could, possibly. And I was in my friend's house. I'd just got a quarter of cocaine. And I nearly had to do in the pub. I'd been doing very well because one of my friends had been wiping my arse with my son and backed me to the hill for 2 years before. So I was getting away with it because I've never done anything in front of my son. Never. I owe me shit. But it was getting harder because it was getting every other day or every third day. And then it got to every day after my dad had said that to me. My friend told me he's having a baby. And I thought, and we had a chat a week before doing a job. And he said, you won't get better till you hit rock bottom. And I thought, rock bottom? Sitting there having a talk thinking, rock bottom? Well, I know what rock bottom is. I can't put any more in my face. Because I never was into it. I only started in 2016, really. Wasn't never my thing. I could sit there and watch kids do piles of it and was like, dickheads.
Yeah, what are you doing?
But I was just a beer. I couldn't stop drinking.
Did you like a pint, yeah?
I mean, just, again, beer, only just to jump up now. Never been a drinker ever. I had a little couple of 18 months in the Air Force drinking. When I come back from Kuwait and my head fell off. And then I had probably my mate's stag do was 2017 and I was practicing for this stag do from mid-2015. But I was starting to get sick at the same time, not realising things were unravelling very quick. And not realising how sick I was getting.
When you say practicing, sorry to laugh.
Yeah, practicing.
Practicing what?
Getting pissed. So I knew my mates, they can fucking drink going out of fashion, mate. You know what I'm saying? They can. I fucking light race on the ale. I had to practice. Practice makes perfect, innit?
Fucking hell.
So he says,
oh, you've just shook the mic, man.
The boys will tell you we're going to Brennan. He said, where's that? He says, fucking going to Spain. September, like last 4 days of August, first week September in 2017, and my mate's wedding's in December. I'm like, yeah, Sam, he went, you better practice, mate. We'll drink you under the table. So literally, the summer of 2015, we've just started playing football, and I'm like, sound. I think Liverpool had just been beat in the final. You know what I'm saying? By fucking, we got beat, didn't we? Klopp first year, we got beat in the final, and we went out for a piss up after that final, and then got bladdered. And I was like, I'll be good on this side, the boys, and started practicing. So I'm getting every week. I'm letting go out for them on a piss every week, and it was nothing. It wasn't me, but it was working up to this stag do, so I could have 24 hours on the ale and not spew up and not go fight.
Hold yourself.
Not go for a fight, basically, mate. Because I'd have 4 or 5 alcohol pops and then be like, I get pissed off. I'm like my dad. I can't be arsed with knobhead drunks. I've always been if you're a pisshead, don't fucking let all over me. I'll be like, don't touch me fucking clothes. I'm dead.
Yeah, that's how you are.
Yeah, I'm just like that. So I've been practicing, and then we end up he goes to Brennan. 24 hours, we were up, fucking pissed. I was the last one to go to bed. I said, I told you, boys.
Yeah.
And then that was me done. 250 quid on fucking ale in one day, and then that was when I really started getting better. because I knew I was an ecstasy kid. I was a dancer. I was a driver when we were younger. I was the kid who had 2 tablets and drove the car to get my mates home safe, or didn't take tablets to get my mates home safe, or just went and drove to Wigan Pier at 3 in the morning, took them off. I was that kid. I was a driver, sensible kid. Nearly killed my mates twice in the car coming back from 051. First time I'd really cut the future, just jumping out the story quick. We were in 05 one night. We took 200 pills of us, and somehow they've ended up in my pocket. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? But we started walking 051 down the stairs. The bar was there. And the first little balcony of the disco ball, we'd be right there every time. That's where we used to stand. So, like, we knew there was a camera in front of us. And I just clocked. Someone's watching me. Must have been about 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, right on the other side. And we're right by the bottom of the stairs. It's like the fucking other side of the club. Must be 70 yards. Says, see me mate, yeah. Then bouncer's watching us. He's like, you dickhead. Fucking shit, you paranoid knobhead, shut up. So I'm like, nah, mate, they are. So
you know.
I've just, it's the first time in my whole life I knew.
It's a gut instinct, isn't it?
Oh, this was horrible, this feeling. It was like a panic attack coming, I can't describe it. It was the first time in my whole life I proper knew something. And I had some magic skills, this 6th sense shit. And then I went, the fuck, and I knew. And I turned around, mate, and the fire exit's like to your office here, 10 yards behind us, and they're right behind me, the 2 of them go up at me. And I'm like to mates, birds, come here, get this bag in your hand, quick. Fucking grab these, we're gonna get fucking smashed there. She went, what? And as I'm pushing them into her hand, and fucking bags like that, my hands got cut and I got dragged that way. I went, see you later. and literally, they just slipped out my hand into her hand. So we got dragged up the stairwell, me and my 2 mates, because we had money in our socks. Didn't have no fucking things at the time. It was on our bags, so
money.
We come from Chester, so your money's in your sock. Yeah. I'd have 150 quid emergency money for a taxi in case you got lost under the sole of my shoe, and my money in my sock. Because we're all in our socks, they'd be like, what are you doing? I was like, nothing, mate. I'm like, I'm in the Air Force and all that. I don't do drugs. You know what I mean? Like a little lion prick. But we had nothing on us, so we got kicked out and we got in the car at 4:30, but like at 3:10, like a knobhead, I decided to double drop. So we're in the car and I'm like, up the fucking wall. And they're like, how did you do that? And I was like, I don't know what happened, but I knew they were coming. It was weird. And then I tried to drive us home later on. It was winter. It was dark. When it was dark late into the morning. And we come the back way home for whatever reason. I don't know, through witness and speak. It was mad when I right drive. And we come around a big roundabout. I can't remember. It's the back of St. Helens. I don't know why we even come that way home. It was weird. I was wrecked. And I was always safe driving the car. It was the first time I'd done something naughty. And I'm driving the car, I'm not even a care in the world, and just heard this shouting at the same time, just seeing this truck. And I'm fucking straight for the red light, and I'm about to push under an arty. And stopped, I'm literally from here to the light. From the as we stopped the truck, the bars went past us, and I knew we'd have all gone, like, and I was just like, fuck, and just got out the car. And that was the first time I knew, fuck this, lad.
Serious, yeah.
Serious
shit, went
yeah.
from a laugh to become...
This went from being a laugh. The kid who was sensible taking his own to, but I didn't take ecstasy again until I went to Spain. That's how long it was until I took ecstasy again.
Benamedina.
Didn't take ecstasy again until Benamedina. But I always knew something about it, and then started getting paranoid. So first night wrecked, and then when we went into the room, they were all getting wrecked, and I was like, phew, that fucking powder. I couldn't even speak. I went, I'm going to get some pills tomorrow. Went to a coffee shop. I said, you want these, lad? He went, yeah, no faces. Sound askers, 100 of them. And they were like, fucking hell. Well, we'd done about 300, 400, 500 by the time we got home. We fucking done loads. And yeah, well, they were like, well, have you got all them? I went, well, go through them easy, you fucking weirdos on holiday. Like, they're on a party, you can't be sitting on a sniffing that shite all weekend. They were not speaking and being not being social. You know what I mean? So I've ended up fucking just carrying on, cracking on. But I've ended up on the beach on my own all the time. I kept getting to the club. I'd fill my bag up with something, have a joint, walk down the speaker on, Duke, so in love with you, down the strip, walk in the club to go with the other boys, and just get this proper anxiety attack.
No good, yeah.
Panic attacks I was getting. I didn't realise it was the first time I was getting panic attacks.
Do you reckon it was the drugs or the people who you were surrounded by?
Well, the first 3 or 4 times I had this feeling in Spain, I hadn't even had any drugs. I hadn't drank in a day. I'd had a few spliffs in a coffee shop, and it was just, I was in Spain to do me. I wasn't there to do the boys. I just didn't know it at the time. I know now because of the process. I just didn't know it at the time. And I just had this the first time walking to the club. I was dead old sweaty, and I was like, you all right? I said, can you feel that in here? I just felt that a horrible vibe. And I went, fuck this, I'm going for a walk, me. I ended up on the beach on my own, about 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm just chilling. I was talking to these 2 kids from Africa. They were like, whoa, you're brave, man. I went, all right, because your robbers all down here. I was like, come on, brother, fucking speaking, we're having a party. And everyone's like, what are you doing? I'm like, party with these. And then I just had this, I started walking everywhere on my own. was doing stuff with the lads and that, being me, life and soul the party, but just, it was the first time since I was a kid I started to do you versus you. I hadn't done you versus you since I was 11 and done me. I'd started doing the bigger picture. I can't let my dad down, can't let my mum down,
can't let me mates down.
Can't let me mates down, when all I'd done is focus up until 4 to 10, 11, just focus on doing me better. No, that focus on nothing, whether it be kata, kumite, being good at school, not hitting that kid, running quicker, just me. And then you change, and then I was always not causing my dad either. I knew if I be a parent at school, not causing my dad, so that's carrying on. Then I'm a lone parent man on my own for 7-8 years, and I'm starting to fall apart with it because I'm pulling off a blag, because I'm doing someone else's graft. I'm doing everything I can do because I chose to make a child with a woman and stick to my guns because I'm a good Scouse soul with an S on my chest. That's how I was raised by me, man. I mean, nan, proper. We were all raised by our Palladian nans with them velvet voices. That's what we're here for, them like post-war voices, the Palladian grandmothers we had. We chose to come on us souls chose to hit these families to learn these lessons. Some of us here is gatekeepers to stop people getting to the promised land. Fake prophets, lies and cheats don't prosper. And some of us here to get the balls out. I'll quite happily now strip my suit clean off and stand here naked in front of that camera to tell people I don't give a shit. I'll do that regularly to people, not because I'm a smart ass, but I've got nothing to hide. I'm about to stand on George's Hall. I might not pull up in an Aston Martin because I don't need to play some stupid trick with money. It's a shame that that's how I'm going to have to do it to show people what I'm doing and what I've done at the banks. But I'm here to change the world for forever.
I feel like
Spain was the start of me owning my shit. And getting, I come back and I was sick for about 8 weeks. I had, what do you call it? Vertigo. I had vertigo for about 8 weeks. I mean, my brain was just. Honestly, but ecstasy's here. Ecstasy's not in here. When you're as a kid, you think it's a heart-centered drug. It's not a plant-based drug, but it's strange. Ultimately, there's a reason why the nightclubs were closed. There's a reason why the scene was changed. There's a reason why gangster fucking rap come instead of hip-hop. Hip-hop is culture. House music is culture. This modern shit you've got is Zionist program, A440, fight or flight stuff. Easy to program people. And I've always been fighting the program. Rage Against the Machine, call whatever you want. At times it was rage. Now it's learning to be the clown and the wise man. Like him over your shoulder, Tyson Fury. There's been method in me madness. Some people get it, some people don't. Some people like me and some people won't. But in the end, brother, it'll all make fucking sense.
It's making sense.
It does.
So you come home from Benedina, you fucking mangle for 8 weeks with vertigo. Now what happens? Do you end up getting on the Charlie? Where does this go from here?
Not any cocaine at all in Spain. I got one bag the night. First night was there, I was like, not into that, not my shit. And then it was my friend's wedding in December. I'd been going out with a lady. I won't start mentioning names now. I'm not. It's a difficult one. And I'm quite honest. I had an abortion 6 weeks after my little boy was born with his mum, and I've had to live with that, as I know she has. I had to. Things happen in life. I put her well, and I made a mistake. It was based on that. I'd met another lady in 2015, just as we were moving, and she's the first woman my son's ever called mum, flying. But then I started getting sick 2016 in the summer, and things unravelled very quickly. After about 10 months I was living with us, and I just run with my life, going from one extreme to the other. My life was getting good. And then we went to my friend's wedding in 2017, and I'd made it pretty clear I wanted to have a child with her. And we were talking, and my friend was having a kid, my son's godfather, and he said something at the table with his partner. And they looked, and something was said about children, you know what I mean? And I was like, I'll have a kid tomorrow, and it was the first time I probably realised I'm never going to have any more children. And it was heartbreaking.
Did it hurt?
Oh, yeah, wounded. I can't. It's hard. It's been fucking hell doing what I've done with my son, knowing I might not do it again, knowing I'm not being able to enjoy it all, know my son's here to be a big brother to something special with kids. It's been hard. I couldn't be shit on it because it's hard. I don't mind being emotional about it because it's just doing me shit. I'll come back very quick. But I can't begin to him. I won't go to the dark spaces because some people take months to get out of it if I explain my real true story. It'll come out in time when I write a book and that. And I can't tell the full truth. There's things I can't say about my ex-partner. And I've got to...
Can't understand.
But I've been to hell as a parent and not been able to enjoy it. But I've been fortunate. I've got friends who don't get to see their kids because their ex-partners are twats. I know that game of how lone parent women are hustled by the men. I know how lone parent men, lots of them in our generation, are getting hustled the other way. It's not about man or woman, it's about lone parents being hustled and screwed over by the ex-partner. Not about man or woman. The system just likes the split. It's been hell, yeah. But it was hard because I wanted to have a child with her. I would love her. I still love her now. She's my best friend. I'm not going to stop loving her. It's hard. Because I'm me now. If you don't get me balls deep 100%, I can't be with anyone.
You're not going to go.
I can't be with people that... I've had to cut friends in the city loose because they can't see the bullshit they're talking. It's hard. It's a lonely life. But I don't give a fuck.
You're doing you.
I chose to do me long before I did this avatar. I chose to do this. I've just remembered quicker than other people. It is what it is. I've been a wacky fucker for a long time.
Good on you, man.
25 years ago, I'd been in a straitjacket as a schizophrenic with my Uncle Peter. He suffered that indignity in the 80s when he had his god power, as did other men in his generation.
Thing is, when you're different and you spread the word about being different, some people will say, he's fucked him, he needs to go to fucking madhouse him, he's down the twist. Or other people will say, you can't say that, lad, you get fucking locked up or you get nicked or whatever, you know, because people don't want to spread their opinion or say some people don't want to express themselves the way you do. So you're being you.
I knew I was sent here to jump first. I've done things that other men wouldn't even dreamed of doing. But we should all do it. We choose to have children. Own your shit. Nothing stopping you looking after the child like a woman. Especially in our generation. Because we're stepping into our divine feminine. Whereas they've turned into alpha males for 25 years. So we are owning our shit. But that's why I've had to cut. The city's gone very soft. It's gone too far the other way.
Yeah,
There's too many kids who...
It's going backwards.
15 years ago, they're shooting each other and slapping each other with knuckle dusters. Now they're going, oh, love and light. I'm not going to call you on your absolute charlatan with them kids. Or other kids. No. I've got friends getting the piss took. I'm not giving a thing, getting the piss took out of them.
Exactly what you're saying.
I'm just like...
People have gone too soft. People have gone too nice. There's a line, isn't there? It's like, be nice, but like, don't accept being treated like an idiot.
The problem is the city's that intense. And we're all clever and smart. I didn't think that I was coming to find a kid in the city to get fit as anything, to go and do me kundalini and my yoga training in the Far East. I wasn't stopping in Liverpool. Then when I meet a couple of kids doing a litter pick, I'm going to meet this lad here to get fit to do that because 26th of March my penile gland had gone. I had another meditation 3 days later and blew it off again in the shower and then was up for 19 days writing books.
So when your penile gland went, what actually was the experience? What happened?
So doing a meditation, I was watching this program, the Soul Outer Soul program, and there's an exercise, and this is the weird thing about it. What I watched was Inner Soul, Outer Soul. I've never found the same one since. It's now Inner Worlds, Outer Worlds. I didn't look for it until later 2020. And I'm lying down on the bed. I was lying down on the couch downstairs, And then about 10 minutes in, I can hear this. I'm like, fuck, that's like a frequency, that sound. And I just heard about binaural beats about 6 or 7 months before. Knew about music my whole life and about it pinging my body. But there's stuff I've been had to have ignorance in my life to not remember.
Some people hear music, some people feel it. I feel it, brother.
Yeah, we feel it. Because, exactly, some
people don't seem to feel it, but some do. Some hear it, some feel it. That's just my take on it. You know what I mean?
That's the truth.
I've always said that. I'll go to a concert and I'm fucking mad, you know what I mean? And I'll be with certain friends and they're looking at me like, Jack, what the fuck are you doing?
What are you doing, lad?
But I'm into it, you know what I mean? I'm proper feeling it.
We are music, we are. Basically, with a bag of music notes. The technology, that's what it comes down to.
So sorry for derailing
No,
you.
it's all
So
right.
you heard this wow
Right, this
sound.
ring, I'm just like, I get that. And I'm getting better. And I'm trying to reprogram my brain. So I'm actively looking for stuff like this. Since the 26th of March, I had that incident when I threw the cocaine in the canal. I'm actively looking for really what's up with your soul, lad. You something's up. And so I'm like, I'm literally soul searching. I've been doing it for a long time, physically and mentally. But I'm really I was going to go and I was done. That day I wasn't coming back. What I was going to go and do was done. There was no ifs, buts or maybes. That was me. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. I've already not tried to commit suicide 2 years before this, so it's the second time I've come to a really dark thing, like, I've got to pull the trigger on my whole fucking life here. I'm watching this thing and I'm just like, I get that. And then it starts explaining this breathing exercise. 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. I'm like, piece of piss, that. 4. Get to right round the 60 and then just literally, what Kundalini thing is now, hold your breath. So squeeze your balls and just go, everything, your core, one after another, just squeezing it. So basically like a wave of energy from your core up and tense and everything, every muscle in your body. Well, you got 33 vertebrae in your back. This is where the 33-degree Masons and all the codes come into stuff. Everything's done in the 33, or 3 times 11's 33, or to his company, 3's a crowd. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't like us know about 3's, and 3 the magic number, 369. 3 clicks at your heel, the Wizard of Oz, follow the Arabic Road. It all goes in together, mate, in the films and the music. It's all been coded to us. And me, I just went down a wormhole, is the best way I can describe it. I'd already been doing heavy meditations. I'm not gonna lie, I'd been doing meditations, so I was looking at this specifically. I'd already activated me third eye in terms of I was going down this little wormhole thing, but then I went like super down it, like a fucking roller coaster, and then just went. I'm just like, fucking hell, like in the middle of space, but like I'm in charge of the spaceship. Like, I'm basically the whole visor. Best way to describe it to people. I won't go too deep into it, because then you let loads of kids try to repeat this, pretending to what's all out, which is why I've not repeated it to anyone properly. Because when you tell people a story, they have a Chinese whisper then about repeating that themselves. And I don't need to repeat a story to people. I know the people, these 144s who I'm talking to, not all of us have been sent here, but not all of us have been sent here to have this magic thing happen to me. I didn't realise that at first. So I've had that done. I've done it a couple of days later. Literally, it was 9 hours I was meditating. I went down like a process. Went through a maths book and all that, like 4D, 3D, 2D maths book. It was mad. Then come to a big sun. Went through a sunspot. Come out the other side, went to a crystal room. And I was just having, not like voices or visions and that.
See, when all this is happening,
Yeah.
is your body still lying on the couch?
Yeah, I'm just absolutely flat out on the couch, mate, yeah. Absolutely flat out. I was in a fucking different place. I was, what people do having DMT, because I've done my own natural DMT, you know. I've blew my pineal gland off. So I've covered the gland at the top of my head. Covered the thing, then the DMT chips. I don't go into all the maths words about it, because I'm not going to be funny. I haven't even looked into half these bins to give you all the stupid maths names, because that'll blow your head off before half the other stuff. So I won't lie to you all. Someone wants to be a scientist and send me all the labels, crack on. You got the 2 glands here, drips onto the top, and when the pineal gland gets covered in this, it crystallises over, and then when it all drops on, it produces DMT. I can say that in one go, but look, can't. It's hard. Nah, it's hard to say it, mate. Some days it just goes, it flows off my tongue, and other days it doesn't.
Yeah, okay.
And then you go into fucking Neverland. It's a death molecule. So you have DMT when you're born or when you die. Every part of your body can produce it. Every cell. Like every cell has got cancer. Every cell's got COVID. Every cell's got everything in. That's the joy of it.
We're made up of cells.
It's the Mundell Grove pattern. It's the Mundell Grove pattern. It's the tree of life again. It's everything repeating itself. 369 just keeps repeating itself. And inside every little dot, first dot is that pattern of the whole again. And that's it. Just keeps repeating itself. So it's understanding sort of. I've just lost my chain of thought there. What was I saying?
So now you're on the couch and you're in a fucking another planet.
So I've gone away for about 6-7 hours, like a full process. After about 40 seconds, I would open my eyes and gone, fucking hell, that was mad. I want to go with that again. Done the breathing, went down. So then I've come out of that and I'm like, fucking hell. In the morning, and I'm walking out like in love with everything. Barely like I'm walking down the stairs like the plaster's nice. It was weird. I'm like, fucking hell. Then spoke to my mum, and then a couple of days later, put my son down and watched it with my son. And like half made him watch it. And he watches with me, and then he said after
How
about
old's your son at this moment?
9.
Yeah.
And after about 3 hours, he's gone, Dad. He's gone, you okay? He said, you was making this mad noise after about 10 minutes. I went, what do you mean? He goes, it was making a noise, and then you just started going, and I was like, oh, right, okay. So I'm thinking, yeah, I'm definitely in the zone watching this. I was sat and just meditating on the couch thinking, this is boss. So that's the last day of March, 30th. So I'm like, right, sound. I said, going to Grandma's tomorrow, mate, sound. So he goes upstairs, lays on the bed, goes to bed, puts it on again that night, thinking I'm going to get into this, have another one of these meditations. But after about 5 minutes, thinks, nah, I'll go and get in the shower. I know water's a better conductor for this meditation. So go and get in the shower. Goes upstairs, puts the shower on cold. And he had to put it on cold or like warm. Start doing this in myself, cleared my body like most people doing a meditation. 60 rounds of breath and then just gone, emptied the energy. So just gone from the top like I've got lavender energy, like a gravy pot of lavender. You know what I mean? And just let it swirl through your body. Just to the bottom, just empty everything out. Then after that, do this breathing exercise. Once I'm literally starting to boil my head to the shower, like a kettle on me. I'm like, get out. So I put it proper cold. Then carried on the process. Went through the first sort of like I did a few days before. Come through this sort of glass room again, like a crystal room. Went to like a sun. Went through a sunspot and then just like I'm in outer space. But then like it's all black and white. And I can see like pyramids in front of me. I'm like, what the fuck? And just went, and then it's fucking started it. Not voices, like I can't hear things, but I'm getting information was just hitting me. And then just had this fucking pyramid, just went, like rainbow coloured, it was mad. And just started getting blah, 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 in my head, the best way to describe it. But I was there for 9 hours in the shower, I didn't know. So 7 o'clock in the morning, fucking door, I was like, Dad, the house is flooded. I'm like, what? Went to step over the bath, mate, and going, I'm like, fuck. Gone downstairs and the fucking water's cascading down the living room wall.
Wow.
And I've had my hand over the bath and just the fucking all that, just like 8.5 hours I was meditating in the bath.
Jesus.
But then I've gone back upstairs, cleaned the place down dead quick, gone back up the stairs, and as I've got 2 steps up the stairs, just can't describe it. Anyone who's ever had an ecstasy tablet, that first 20 minutes, 1 billion times that, 1 billion-fold. I walk up the stairs and I went like, rubbed the wall, mate. Oh, fucking hell. And I turned on my heels, I looked at my son, and I said, you know sometimes you smell cannabis in the house? He went, what? He went, I said, you know sometimes you say to him, I can smell that smell. I said, so his dad smoked cannabis. I said, self-medicated for a long time now. I said, there's no point lying to you anymore. That's the fucking truth, that son. Phone grandma, we're going to grandma's. Because I just knew just something was happening. So I'm like, fucking hell, that was boss. That I felt liberated. Thinking, fucking hell, yeah, that was some balls. Carries on, gets to my mum's, and just starts explaining to her, I don't know what's happened, but I know my pineal gland's gone, I think. I said, I don't know how the fuck's happened. I said, I've not been looking to do anything. I said, but I'm pretty sure my third eye's gone. I said, you heard Joe Rogan talking about a couple of years ago. Not into it, what they're on about. I said, not me. I said, but this is fucking heavy. I said, I've just been up, I had 3 days, it was like 20 hours meditation in one go, basically. I said, I need to write this stuff down in books, Mum. I've got loads of stuff going for my head. Just knew I was going to stand on a stage.
Does your mum understand you?
Yeah, fully.
So what's she saying at this point? She doesn't think you're cracker. She's like, go ahead, get your pen out, lad. Start writing.
Her and me pops. I've known I've not been well for a while. I wanted to go to rehab when I spoke to my dad. 2019, I spoke to my dad and told him I wasn't really well. Since my friend's wedding in 2017, I was getting sicker and sicker. I'd been at the NHS. That had all fell apart. So I wanted to go to rehab, and I just knew this is it. There's no going back from whatever's happened here. Something's happened here, lad. You've just got to ride the motherfucker till the wheels fall off. So ends up going home, starts writing books, pecking my mate's head. My mate's having a baby now, and he's fucking 7-8 months pregnant. The last person he's got time to speak to is me.
You're fucking on the phone every 2 minutes.
No, he's phoning me. Let me have like proper converses for 4 or 5 hours. It was just doing his proper God power. He was like, Jim, lad, love you, man. We've never had converse like this in our lives, but it was meant to be. And I'm bouncing ideas off him and this thing, and he's like, lad, have you had any sleep yet? Like 2 days in, 3 days in. I'm like, nah. He's like, lad, go and get your fucking head down, mate. Have a rest, and I'll speak to you in 6 hours or something. I'm like, I can't sleep, lad. I write these books. I'm literally going from fucking book to book to book, mate. And then 17, 18 days later, finished with this thinking caps idea of having a chakra cap.
And is this how this all become?
Yeah, literally. So I've knew. Basically the pyramid was.
See the books you were writing?
Yeah.
What were they about, man?
369, the theory of life, energy, frequency, vibration.
Have you still got the books to this day?
Yeah, they're the famous books, mate. These are the ones in your...
Do you think that now, in your mind?
I know.
Do you think the books you've written, one day will be published and people are going to look back and say, this is what fucking
this is the kid
Robert Michael Dixon done?
Well, he's dead, it doesn't exist. This is what Ron Quantum done. Yeah, this is what Ron Quantum done.
We're going to come to that.
Yeah, I know what. Some people can't get that. He told people he's going to be the world champion. Lots of people say lots of things. People don't believe him. Jurgen Klopp's been Jurgen Klopp. He taught me how to follow my dreams. German.
So when you've written these books now,
it's like notes.
When they've been written,
they're not books. They're not me writing, but it's notes. It's like boom, boom.
Yeah,
boom.
bullet points. You thought of that. You thought of that.
Scatterbrained.
Yeah,
it's my brains on. It's my brain on paper.
But it's like, if you've ever read The Secret or anything like that, that's similar. It's not a story. It's a point and it's a point and it's a point, and then you make it that at the end. What you take from that. Well, is it similar? Yeah,
very similar to that. I'd started reading The Secret. I took bits out of it.
Secret's a heavy book.
Heavy.
I think it's very mainstream. People go, oh, The Secret. But for me, I really, really, really love the book. Rhonda Byrne. We're men who act, though. And I mean, we put it into action. We don't sit and talk. Oh, I'm going to manifest this and have a vision. No. Great. We're going to fucking do something and you're fucking idiots. It blows your fucking mind, though, when you truly understand it, when you really read it and you go, oh my God, I can do anything I want or I can have anything. But when I was reading the book, subconsciously, I already knew that shit.
Because we've been sent to you.
And I put the book down and was like, I fucking knew that, but I've got to read this again. So I went back to the start and read it again. I had Tom Farrell on a couple of weeks ago and I asked him, does he read and stuff like that? And he said he's trying, but he weren't really into his reading. And I had a copy of The Secret here on the shelf.
Lad.
And I gave it to him and said, take it home and read that fucking book, lad. Fazza, I hope you fucking read that book.
He's my brother.
Yeah, so...
Reading comes to you. It's like Reiki. Energy, Akasha, heart energy, source energy, the energy that links us all together. If it's meant to crack through your body and your sense you're on a cosmic path and your path's perfectly aligned with everything in your soul journey. So you might have been recycled by the Zionists 5 or 6 times to keep going back, fight or flight. And you're playing this like, everyone's got an idea of what's going on. I get that. None of us really know. Because everyone plays the game. You show me the Earth, big globe with a spaceship, real deal. We can start talking flat Earth or not. But until then, forget about it. So we can only go for our experience and our understanding of what people can see in our faces. All I'm doing is relaying to people my experience of the truth.
You're at these books, 18 days, you're up fucking writing these notes, bullet points, books, whatever the fuck you want to call them, journals, let's call it a journal.
Journal's best way to call it. It's a journal.
So it's a journal, you're writing this journal, which eventually it's going to be published in the future. So now, is this when Thinking Caps?
Thinking Caps was born 1st of April 2020. Literally, that's the last day. That was 3 or 4 days. That's when the first meditation was the 26th. Because I only went back for this properly. I had the other day to remember it was that writing it down. So the first one was the 26th of March. I had the one with my son 2 days later, and then the one when I went and started proper writing me books was into the 1st of April. And then I started literally just, I've got it in the book, Thinking Caps, An Empire is Born, Thinking Caps 5064, because I knew it was me pineal gland and the gamma rays, I knew that was the...
So you knew that's how that linked up, that was where you got the 5064
yeah, that's
from?
where the 5064 comes from, yeah.
Okay, so now, you're on this 5D?
5D.
What the fuck's 5D, brother?
So, it's just a perspective. It's just seeing a bigger picture. Best way to explain it. So, you've got a 2D shape, a 3D shape, and a 5D shape. Best way of looking at it. So,
you can see the whole thing.
You can see the whole picture. It's just people call it ascending, rising up. Eagles do that when they go up, just so they can see the bigger picture. We're all different levels on a timeline. Some
Thinking
people,
Caps was born. You realised what you were sent here to do. You obviously you've promoted yourself in terms of you're spreading the word of what you believe in. You know,
mental health is the biggest one. Mental health, the free brains.
we'll come back to mental
Yeah.
health and that because there's a part that there's a topic, should I say, which I'd like to touch on
Yeah,
with
no,
you,
yeah.
which I know you're big on. And I think a lot of people who follow you on Instagram or I've seen any of your posts may not understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
It's illegal to use a legal name.
Yeah. Best
For
way
a
to do
school
it.
of fucking dickheads.
Open this at the same time because I bought the paperwork with me to do it properly. Because I'm not fucking about. We're about to change the world for forever. I told kids in
Yes.
2020. It's in my books. If these plans come off and Mark Scanlon says it works with his mate Brian Cregan, we're on. I'll change the planet. And I come to meet Mark Scanlon.
Mark Scanlon.
Mark, you fucking G, I love you, brother.
He is. So many people talk so highly of him, but he's a fucking geezer. Putting cans
Yeah,
in
he
the
has,
freezer.
he has a lot of fucking shit to put out as well, because with the rough comes the smooth, and a lot of people throw a lot of shit around as well. So, you know, the ones who haven't got the bollocks to speak to and tell the truth, go and have a chat and tell the truth to my mate. He was fucking God power, because he's special, he's an angel.
Top man. Put a lot of time for him.
I seen him I had a crash after Penal Gland went, seen him on Andy Grant's podcast, and he was talking about making billionaires. I can make billionaires, me. That's what I'm here to do. Billionaires aren't billionaires like this. Us billionaires, me, Simo. What a surprise. The irony. It is what it is. We're here to touch a billion beings with our shit and help people like Luke. We're here to touch a billion beings. It's not about being billionaires. It's about owning your shit, knowing your stuff, and using your XP in every which way possible to help other people. We're not all here to do that. Some people like to play the game, but it's an hard game to play. It's illegal to use a legal name. It's the basic rule of the game.
Explain it.
When people come back to the fact of, I was born in the Countess of Chester Hospital, 5th of July, 1983, 10 past 3. By 15 minutes past, by the bit of a nightmare, thrown in my chest, umbilical cord around my neck, nearly died. They whack a fucking tag around my wrist. They've just weighed me, £8.10 or whatever it was. So I've got good stock, me. Fat ass, little fat bastard. My dad's an heavy grafter in terms of how he's gone to work. I come from good stock. My two granddads. So I know my heritage. One side of the world in Upton and this side now for. So I've got heavy stock, Dixon and Campbell stock. I then understand, as we all should understand, that something's never been quite right about this clasp. Leonardo da Vinci, the paintings, put them on top of each other. And the Da Vinci Code, the clasp goes around her wrist from the Last Supper.
Which paintings are these paintings?
I think it's the Last Supper and the Mona Lisa. If you look into the Da Vinci Code, they'll explain exactly which paintings it is.
Okay.
I don't try and educate people on things
you don't know.
Well, I know loads about Da Vinci Code, but when I just know, there's no need to go into the finer detail and quantify something you don't need to quantify. There's enough things need quantifying and need quantity surveying.
Is that where you got quantum
from? Ron Quantum is me. Ron, it was my nickname when I was younger. Ron Seal, exactly what it says on the tin. So Ron Quantum.
No, I understand it.
Attention to detail, doing exactly what it says on the tin. There's method in the madness.
Sick name. Sick name. Right, okay, cool. So
basically, coming back to the very basics.
for anybody watching who doesn't follow him, just to break that down to you, his name on your birth certificate.
My name on my birth certificate says Robert Michael Dixon, which is illegal because
But you've called yourself.
I've called myself
Ron Quantum.
Ron Quantum.
So that's going back to that.
Yeah, my nickname. So trying to explain why I'm Ron Quantum and not Robert Michael Dixon, because Robert Michael Dixon is a corporate entity. He's a business. He's a PLC, basically, for the government. Corporation. So my cooperation in being a corpse, an operation for them to operate against me. So I'm a corpse, a dead corpse, on paper, and they can go, "Ooh, there's his NHS number. Oh, we can make a few quid off his gold, his weight in gold, me stock," because you get an NHS number with the tag, then you get a birth certificate. The birth certificate then goes on your stock over to the Vatican City. You get one in the City of London, and then you get a national insurance number, which goes to America on a stock market. So all three of them, the Crown, under the post office stamps, play this little game of under the thumb and hoodwinkery hoodwinking the poor people that they've got a life when actually we're all dead. There's one person on the whole of the planet classed as living and has been gifted life by the City of London Corporation, and that's Kate of Gaya, Jane Doe, BCC RSS, birth certificate fraud. The people who's watching this have to consider this now, and this is important. I've served you now with that paperwork, what I'm saying. Ignorance is not an excuse. Ignorance is not bliss. You need to understand exactly what it is I'm telling you. It's illegal to use a legal name. When you get to the basics of Boris Nonsense, David fucking Cameron, the knob, and any of them, it's illegal to use that tag. They're allowed to use that tag in commerce with you fucktards because you didn't suss on that you were sold out by your parents. That's none of anyone's fault. Not your fault, not mine, not Scano's, not GoPro Bride's, not Luke's, not Tom's, none of us. But as men, we're here to claim our sovereignty. Corona, crowning of a king. That's what Corona is. Check out Corona the beer with the crown on the top. Check out the real Phoenician language, 4 or 5 different ways of things meaning things, and the word fuckery. I've got business partners and brothers who will explain this to you tenfold better than me and link, again, up the chain for the language. I'm here to dumb it down and put it into Scouse layman's terms to link it because people can't get their head around the language. It's heavy.
That's why I want you to break it down. So, right, when you're born, you get a tag around your wrist. After you get weighed, put the tag on your wrist, don't did he say, yeah, and then he'll say, what's your name?
So your mum and dad already have got a block capitals name on an ID.
Yeah.
We all have block capital names and ID. That's classed now, that block capital name. You don't exist. That card, that's putting your birth certificate. So your mum and dad will put block capitals, their name, their mum and Argan and Granddad put on their birth certificate.
Yeah.
So they're the dead entities. So there's 2 corporate entities that don't exist. Say, we've had this child. Then one of your parents will sign in shorthand as a living witness, because there's 2 of them there. So one of them can witness the other one to say, yeah, we do. And then they sign a pledge of allegiance, basically giving you the body over to the government, and then we're going to rent it back. We'll be parents of you. So every Cheshire, whether it's Cheshire West and Chester, whether Liverpool City Council, whether they own the rights to you. They've got a death pledge from you. You know what I'm saying?
So that birth certificate, yeah.
That then ties you in.
So if I was to have a child, I've got 3 boys, yeah.
Yeah.
If I said at the time of birth, look, when they ask me for their name, what would I do to act in a way
very basically say to them,
to secure them from what you're saying,
to secure them from being born in a system. This is where it's having to stand in the truth. It's knowing this stuff and knowing it because it's come third hand gossip, and knowing it because this wacky kid's telling you to go and look at it now, and like a good judge would be, like a planetary judge, and I'm not a planetary judge yet, I'm not one of them things, but I'm serving the paperwork upon people to say, this verbal contract I'm giving to people now is just as good as me giving it in paper. I am going to start serving this to people on email addresses. Once people understand this now, and you can own that and stand in it, it's illegal to use a legal name and understand the whole system, the banks, everything's bent. Because the minute someone says that your name's you, I'm putting a death pledge on you. I'm basically committing corporate murder.
So we'll
it's heavy.
We're going to come to how everything else ties in with it further down the line. So when we're born, how do our parents protect us from being a part of the system, or can't they?
Well, this is the problem we've got where they can't, because they're both classed as dead lost at sea as well. And it's a game. Donate the play date the game. It's 3 clicks, 3 strikes and you're out. So you have to do 3 bits of paperwork and put things together 3 times to prove you're living, to prove you're alive. So in terms of the doctor's form, there's a 206 form at the doctor, an evidence of life. The doctor will sign that. It's then got to be postally mechanic looked after. It's got to come back to yourself and then sent to the coroner's court. The coroner's court, it deals with dead people. It's heavy. We have to basically unfuck ourselves. It's about resurrecting people. That's what Jesus was here for. People don't, the metaphoric stuff behind Jesus' story, people don't see for what it was.
So when your parents sign a birth certificate and they put your name on it, whatever that name may be, you are then no longer property of them. You are now property of the government.
Government, the Crown Corporation, City of London own you, basically. That's who owns you. On the basis of then, you're going to play the game in the system. Because little slaves, carrying on because they're all slaves, all white, blacks, whatever, yellow, you know what I mean? Whatever colour you want to be a smart ass about doing race, we're all slaves. Everyone's a slave. The Queen's a fucking slave. Everyone's a slave. And there's no getting out of this. We won't go into the bigger pictures about humans been tweaked and all that, but we're all slaves in this absolute draconian system that's been going Babylon for a long time. We talk babble to each other. We babble on. We don't know.
Babylon.
Marcus Babel. You're talking Marcus
David
Babel.
Gray, Babylon.
Exactly. Well, it's all been coded to us, people. It's been drip fed to us. To certain ones was to unfuck ourselves, and others aren't, and it's become fashionable. But it's fucking not fashionable to use a fucking name that you don't have. So when people start trying to understand on paper, they're laughing at us all the way, because what they do is they don't have certain contracts. I didn't sign a contract with the Queen to say I'm into this as a kid. So trying to unfuck all this now as adults is signing affidavits. So you'll see on the back, I've got postal mechanics on that. On the front, I haven't. This is my first affidavit. I just sent this off to Buckingham Palace. A copy of this last week. So 10 days ago. So it's two 40-day periods. And then I can send the Article 61. So in 2020...
Do you know this affidavit?
Yes, brother.
Would you like me to take a photograph of this and put it up on the podcast? Because we can drop that in so people can actually see what I've got in my hand.
Yeah, exactly.
And they can have time to read over.
The only thing I ask is you don't put my address in there, but other than that,
we'll block all that.
I'll give you the full. I've got the full set here. What I'll do is, when I start carrying on talking about this paper now, I'll make sure you've got copies to put it all on. Makes every single bit.
Fantastic.
So there's a first affidavit, and after 40 days, you send a second affidavit. That's there, the copy of it. It's exactly the same one. Then after 80 days, the Queen, because it goes to Queen Victoria at Buckingham Palace, she won't answer you. She won't answer you because she's in. she's been pirated. She's not going to answer you. She's in dishonour because she's not got permission from no one to use that fucking name because she's illegal on a basic level before being a smart ass. Then we send this one to the barons. This has got to be signed, and this goes off to the barons. Everyone's talked about this since 2020. Article 61. Magna Carta is what we're talking about. Well, that is the thing. This is the piece of paper and documents that needs sorting out and doing. If you want to take your rights back and go and arrest any paedophile politicians and bring them to judgment and beck and call to do what they need to do and be honourable for their dishonour. And it's time for people to stop talking the talk and start walking the walk, mate. Because you can talk all you want. Talk is cheap. People got to start owning this shit. This gets you out of all acts and statutes. The police can't stop me now. They can fuck off.
So basically, what we're saying is, nah, swear away, man.
It's heavy.
So when we're born, there's fuck all we can do about it. It's what you're saying. But when you're older, you can try and unfuck this situation because it weren't your birth, it weren't your choice at birth. So now you're wanting your choice, you're wanting your voice. So this is why you're spreading this word that it's illegal to use a legal name, and that's why you're banging on about it on Instagram, etc., any social platform you can, so people can become aware and they can actually say, right, hang on a minute, I want to change the situation I'm in. It's
Lego law. It's God's law. When people realise that what the language means, it's heavy. It's
the power of the stamp. Talk to me, baby.
So this is postal mechanics. So we're under the thumb. So what they've been doing for a long, long time, the dirty bastards, it's all Pirates of the Caribbean and lordy, who? Right, you chap, how the fucking hell are we going to black the Scousers? We'll put them under the fucking thumb. And that's exactly how these twats from Chester think, mate. Unfortunately, they're the blue bloods. That's why it's got to be in blue pen. You get a stamp. Everything is court. So court is paperwork. Nothing more, nothing less. Everything court. Not mean you turn up talking to some fucking actor. This is the court. So if I'm going to represent myself and I want to put my paperwork in, and this statement says, I, the living man, Robert Dixon, didn't commit that crime. Fuck you. To have this document in a court properly, I have to write my statement, I have to put a stamp in the top. I have to take that to the post office. I have to get them to stamp it. Jurisdiction. So this has been docked as a proper document. A document at the post office. The most important people, the port authorities. So this is a document, can be docked in this country, in the courts in this country, because it's maritime law. These dickheads are inviting you, a summons, please come and play with us on our ship. And if you're a fucking idiot, we're going to fine you when you come, because you don't know, because you're going to rise for the judge. Fuck off. I'm not rising for no judgment of you, you fucking nonce. Sorry, but it is how it is. And then they take over postal mechanics, this paperwork, so they seek a little code to sort each other out, so they know, he's in the club, him, whether he's a Mason, or whether he's a Buffalo, or whoever the fuck he is, he's a Blue Blood, he's David Cameron, he's Boris Nonsense, any of them pricks. They'll put stamps in, they'll take this to the post office, the postmaster will stamp it for them. That's the Federal Reserve stamp as well. Because this can not only be done with this, can be done in different ways. I'll show you the other documents. Then when I want to take this to the court as evidence, I have to stamp the back of it to close the documents. Because when it's in court, the usher, he'll have it like that, a blank piece of paper. Because if you haven't got a clue about your evidence, you won't have a stamp on it. So he hasn't got to take any notice of the babble inside there, because it's full of shit off a dead man. He hasn't even done his documents properly. He's a knobhead. But when you see the rich men, they'll have a stamp like that. So he has to open the document. So he has to then flick it over and go, And then there's another stamp. He has to open the document and read it.
Yeah, so it's keeping leading on to the next passage, where if there's no stamp on that, you don't have to open that document. No, that's the whole point of having a postage stamp in the first place.
Postage stamp, because it's stamped and docked. It's all...
See the way you put your thumbprint on it in the blue ink?
Joinder. So that's the £3. So that's my thumbprint to prove I'm a living man.
Mm.
My compound factual name and the crown one. That's just for that one, for the affidavit.
The £3. What do the £3 represent? What we see?
I'll explain that to you now. So the affidavit is to do with Buckingham Palace and that crown. I didn't sign. My mum and dad didn't know. Were unawares. They signed me over to her. Well, I didn't know, nor did I sign a contract. And now I am aware. Ignorance is bliss, and has been for my whole life. But it's not bliss anymore because I didn't do it.
Yeah. So now you're aware.
Now I'm aware.
Want to fucking do it?
No. Being aware and then being ignorant without the awareness, that's the hardest thing. People need to understand what they know. They've known about this in 2020. Well, now it's all here. As I've been carrying on with the technology and sorting the cheat code stuff out and keeping going at that, making sure that it's there to help people get well. Other people have been doing the paperwork. We've all been just doing us. And the ones of us who haven't talked shite, I haven't gone to make this. And I'm not knocking no one. Everyone's been in a different game, doing a different thing. It's very obvious to see which ones of us are here doing the right thing for the right reasons. We've been mocked, we've been raped, pillaged and purged by our own families, black sheeped off, and we still don't care. And we're still going at it. Because that's what it is. I've had a lot of people help me and back me and judge me for my absolute genius in the last couple of years. It's hard to own it like that. But we're all genius.
Yeah.
And I will own mine, because everyone else should own theirs.
Right and all.
There's a fine line between ego and genius. I know my egotistical brain runs up in the top of my lid. Most of you don't. Most of you talk coherence, and I've got about as much coherence as fucking Dick Dastardly and fucking Muttley on a bad day at wacky races. So fuck off, innit? You know what I'm saying? They're never winning. Dick Dastardly and Muttley always lose. he never wins, mate. He never fucking wins. So don't play the game with Dick Dastardly and Muttley if you can't win wacky races. And this has been turned into a wacky race in our city. People competing when all it was down to was us sticking together on our guns. So the next mechanics of it is understanding how this really works with the banks. Because
this is what I was going to say, right? Look, I was going to talk to you about the financial system, but before we get to that, what made you tie in the birth certificate, our names, what made you go straight, right, fuck, I'm going to the bank?
So, I've known about John Harris and Lawful Rebellion on YouTube. Check out Lawful Rebellion on YouTube. Lots of you know about John Harris, who were on my Instagram page. I had a conversation with a lad about last night. He got a bit hot, the conversation, but some people like the frying pan. Some people like the frying pan. Some people want to jump out of the kitchen. I'll turn the fucking gas right up as soon as it gets off. Like, do you want to deal with a converse? Oh, do you want to be argumentative? Come on then. You better be good at coming back and apologising for your argumentativeness, because I'll say thank you for letting me get the converse out rather than it's what it is what it is. So we're talking about it, and it's trying to... I lose track of my mind when I start thinking of something else.
So we were saying about how did you link up?
So I've known about John Harris's work since 2012 when I first watched YouTube, and I was like, this kid's, he was talking about the ninth circle and that as well. the bigger picture of everything, Jimmy Savile and all that, but I knew it was on about the paperwork, so I was like, oh, you're onto it, him. Come across him again 2016, but I'm not really looked right into John Harris. At the same time, I'm looking into technology and things like that. And then 2020, I was like, said to a couple of kids, you know about John Harris, don't you? And you're like, who's him? Said to one about name fraud and all that type of stuff, and your birth certificate fraud, and getting our trust funds back. I said, to do with that Magna Carta Article 61 people are talking about. He's ended up being bumped off 8-9 months ago, or a year ago, for a dodgy cancer or hanging, something dodgy. But he'd done an interview like this, and he's telling people he shouldn't have said that. Well, I'm not scared of fucking nothing and no one. Fucking them.
So and that's a lot of the reason why some people who are doing all things, they don't say something.
Fear, mate, yeah. If you're going to do it, own it. Don't be scared of nothing, because no one's coming to harm you. No one's going to, ooh, you're telling the truth, I'm going to put you in jail. No, you're fucking not. No, you're not. You're going to do nothing. Because I'm not going to go, ooh, I better do as I'm told. No. How did I speak in Chester City Centre? I asked them fellas what they were doing and applied. Why are you doing that thing there with a van? Encouraging people to stop. And then I've got 2 police officers next to me, 2 PLC officers. Not constables, officers. There's a difference. They're there to find me. They're there to engage in commerce. They're there to do private commerce with me. What's your name? Fuck off, you two. Don't you just stop and talk to me. Enjoy your day, officers. Carry on. Is it officers or constables? Officers. I said, pair of fraudsters. I said, you don't even know what you're doing here. Fuck off. I'm talking to these people. Is there a reason why you're filming them? Yeah, because it's free. I said, I'm just conversing. I said, I'm asking them just why. I'm not having a go. I'm asking why. My question was, without asking it, I didn't ask it, why are you stood here scared shitless or something's not happening? I didn't say it like that to him. I've learnt my lesson. I've learnt the ways to converse with people and being nice to them without being a prick. Now, in the end, he's gone, because of this, and I've gone, that's what I was asking you, mate. If you're scared, I'm just letting you know. You're being, no, but that's what he said. I said, that's fair, mate, that's fair enough. I said, but in the time, said, you'll get this right. And these two are carrying on. And I said, have you two got a name? So he's going, yeah, mine. And I was like, you're a fraud. You're a fraud. I said, I'll do you a favour now. I said, I'll leave you with these people. I said, I'll keep walking. So I've turned around and talked to me phone. I'm live on Instagram, as I am, because I'm a knob like that, and people can't fucking out. He's saying something else to someone. And here's his voice to my left. You can't swear on the street. And I went, fuck off, mate. It's a copper with a rifle. With a little PLC. Going to scare me with his bell endery, because he doesn't know how to use a JSP. Doesn't understand JSPs. Like, JSP, a JSP, I think it's 394. Somehow would be more correct on it, it'd be better. So JSP 394 is when you've got a rifle in your hand, it's got 30 rounds, you know what I mean? You've got to know when to use it, not use it. So at the very last point, if someone's got a rifle and threat to life, pop one off. But if no one's getting threat to life, even if he's in your face, smash him with the butt of the gun. So I know these clowns, these trigger-happy little nuggets in the police who've been killing people up and down the country. Mark Duggan got done, the kid from Tottenham got done, a kid got done on a 62, got 17 rounds in his chest. These trigger-happy little clowns. I'm like, what are you going to do with that, mate? You fucking knobhead. They don't threaten me. So I just charged him in the street. Just told him off. Like, fucking prick, give me your number and that. So who you talking to? He's like, you can't swear in the street. I said, I can say whatever the fuck I want, mate. I said, I wasn't talking to you. I wasn't doing no one harm. I said, I'm not going about my business other than walking down the street. I said, you on the other hand, I said, you're trying to engage with me, to have a pet little argument. I said, what are you going to do, try and twist me up? I said, threaten me, mate. I said, I'll arrest you for treason. How's about that? I said, you clown. I said, but you haven't got a clue about your job, officer. I said, you're not a constable, you're an officer. I said, so, shh, and walked off. Because people have got to start understanding, officer and gentleman, I want the truth. You can handle the truth. We've had it our whole life, drip fed. Our whole lives had it drip fed to us. There's punks out there, who politicians, kids out there who were naughty, gone spiritual. It's all been entwined together. And you've got everyone talking this and everyone talking that. And we've got to strip this back down to its basics of what it is.
So you go to the bank with this.
Well, as I've been coming back with, at the end of last year, I'm about to launch my business for the second time. I launched my business last year and things weren't quite right. Because just weren't right in the city. Walked away from it. I'm about to go for the second jump at me launch my business in Chester. Properly. Because what I'm doing is 20 years in the future of medical care. At least, properly. So it's hard for people to get their heads around.
What exactly are you doing?
Can we come back to that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I've got a brought with me, the Chico's. Oh, what was I saying then? Go on, I've just lost my chain of thought. I'm on about the banking paperwork. So I come across, my friend said to me, you need to check this out. And this gentleman, Jez, Lawful Rebellion, I said, I know Lawful Rebellion, John Alice. He went, no, John Alice is dead. And I went, is he? He went, yeah. And Ben's told me, it must have been
That's a surprise.
late December, early January. So I'm like, so I looked at this fella who's picked his work up, Jez, and a bit more, and like, but Jez is starting to go through the mechanics of the paperwork, writing stuff out. And I'm like, And when something's true, and someone's in the heart centre, and there's a 144, and they've been activated with the Kundalini, they've been had a beam, boom, boom, with a laser beam hits them to activate them, to spread their knowledge. I know them people straight away. You can't blag a blagger. I know the ones who aren't one that yet. I know the ones who are one. I know the ones who play a game one. I know the ones who need fucking a double barrel shotgun telling you full of shit. Because if you're a guru with meditation and you drink, you know what I'm talking about now. I'm not going to mention your name. I'm coming for you next. You're full of shit. You lead everyone down a merry road of absolute fucking culture and start a new age cult. And I'm not here to start new age cults. I'm here to tell the truth. So I can see through everyone's bullshit straight away. So I knew straight away this kid, this Jez was on it. I said to my mates, and he's a kid like me, an activated kid, an enlightened man. I don't mince my words on it. There's other enlightened kids in the city. We stand up like a sore thumb. The ones who don't like it. Love and light, don't be negative. Where you hiding your dark ass then shit, man? Where you wiping your ass with the shit if you're only going for the piss? Come on, behave your fucking selves. I'm living abundance. Yeah, abundance of absolute bullshit. Fuck off.
Yeah.
But they play and talk good games, so, you know, don't be negative and tell lies. This shit's got to be dealt with. There's no getting to the promised land if we don't roll this back to... There's still paedophiles supposedly running the country and the world. We're getting chemtrails dropped on us every fucking day. Every day, like it's going out of fashion. Everyone's quite... So, who is it's going to think? So, when I've sussed what Jez is doing, and I'm like, oh, this is the fella's been sent. I've known about Nezar and Jizara stuff, which is us getting our funds back and our weight in gold for our ideas to help humanity for a long time. I've been telling people since 2020, it's in my books. If we do this, this and this and that, then Nezar and Gezard will get put into place. If you've got an idea to help humanity, your billion being an idea, you'll get your weight of gold back to go and put your idea in place. And then sus is that. That's what's going on here. This is the paperwork mechanics getting put in place. It's heavy, but that's what's happened here to claim our names back. So I then start going through the mechanics with my friend. What did you know about the Article 61? So the minute I knew that, I've had the paperwork in my hand, all on the watermark paper, on the right level paperwork since January. But then I just sat and studied more. I don't sleep. Every night just going through it and watching the videos and making sure I'm reading the information. And then Article 61 come up. And the Bills of Exchange 1882 come up after that. And I'm like, Bills of Exchange 1882? What's that? Promise notes. So then you start getting into how the rich men really work, what the thumbprint, the postal mechanics is really for. Because then you start getting to the other end of how they really pay each other, Bills of Exchange. So, yeah, don't tell me I've left it in your file. Probably have. I have probably. No, yeah, there you go. A Bill of Exchange. So that's a Bill of Exchange. A promise note. So, basically, rich men use these to pay each other, whether it be a promise note, like, I've got 200 bars of gold in America, you've got 200 in China, I'm going to buy some spice, you're going to buy some equipment. There's a 50 gold bar surplus. You're not carrying that back to China because you might get pirated. So we'll sign a load of bonds, and as you use them going back, you'll cash your bonds in. When you get back to China, you might have only used 20, so I get 30. But I'll have it on bond. So I know I'll keep my surplus here and I'll send you the bond. And then over time, we'll trade the gold back, bank by bank. Because the world runs off precious metals, our sovereignty. We were sent here to be shepherds and have our touch on the ground.
When you say the world runs off precious metals, what about fiat?
Well, fiat doesn't exist, it's fake. So fiat exists is basically, if I've got £1,000 in the bank now, say I energy exchange for you, I've come here now and we've done some work and you're like £1,000 for your energy there, Rob, and I go to the bank tomorrow to take £1,000 out because I've got a job on in the morning, empty it out. That's a straight transaction. If 3 hours later I go back to put 500 in because I didn't need it, when I take the £1,000 out, this is how I understand fiat, and I've been on it the last couple of weeks, so they will double the £1,000 again and put it back there. When I then put the 500 back in, they'll put the 500 back in and double the 500 as well. So my £1,000 to start with.
So every time a transaction's withdrawn, it's replaced.
It's replaced.
And every time a transaction's put in, it's doubled.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So it's because then they've got a paper trail of real money for our gold that they're jibbing. Because every time we have a contract, come back to
For
legal
anybody
name
who's watching who doesn't understand what we're talking about,
the fiat banking system is set up with monopoly money. So in God we trust. I promise to pay the bearer on demand with these fake fucking things. Because they don't exist, it's plastic.
So the gold standard, explain it to us.
So back in the day, on the little, you know, where you got your pound sign, you'd have 2 ticks through it. So these were back in the day, money was all backed by gold and then silver. So people weren't getting robbed of the piece of silver, the piece of gold. You'd end up having these promise notes. So you could take a load of these around with you, or you could leave them here and promise to pay when you come back. So you keep an IOU. That's all this is. It's a Bank of England designer IOU.
So basically the government were printing money backed by precious metals, i.e. silver and gold, but when President Nixon took away the gold standard, then it became
Fiat.
an agreement basically by the government saying, we say that this note is the value of this sum, £20, or I promise to pay the bearer £10. So
Exactly.
that actual note, which got £10 stamped on it, is not backed by anything physical. It's only backed by the word
Trust.
of the government,
Trust.
which is called fiat.
Fiat.
So really, that money isn't worth the paper it's printed on.
That's probably worth...
What is
in
it worth?
people's heads,
That could be worth £500 if you said it was, or it could be worth nothing.
Well,
It all depends on what I take your word for, or what you think that service or whatever that is.
yeah, exactly. It's the trust, it's the IOU. It's then come back down to how we've got this bills of exchange. So these promise notes, these boost bonds like that, literally, that's my own pound note. I'm a private banker, a sovereign private banker. That's what that's for. Boost bond 0001. And
Can I have a look?
yeah, the people in the bank know the rules. I've been to the bank 6 times now. I'm not messing around here, like. I've been to the bank 6 times, and I'm trying to teach them the mechanics of their own rules. They
So a
don't know.
boost bond is your own.
Yeah, that I'm going to do a boost bond. That's my own designer. That's my Bank of England. That's the Bank of Bush, basically. I'm not taking the piss, mate. I've just said that's what my mouth. That's the Bank of Bush, Golden Age Republic. That's a Bank of Bush note, mate. We can all be our own private personal bankers and creditors. That's what we are here to do. We're not here to be...
Subsequent to the Bank of England having honoured their promise on their banknotes by Lord Commissioner of His Majesty's Treasury under the authority of Act of Parliament. Yeah, it's a proper fucking piece.
It's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Could I take a look back at the other bond?
That's the promise note. The promise note, now, using that, we can pay any bills. So the cat's out the bag right now. So there's plenty of kids in the city. I've been talking since 2020 of, I don't pay tax. I don't pay this. Well, I'll put it simply to you. Any of you kids chatting that, why the fuck aren't you having a podcast telling everyone to pay the bills for free? You fucking absolute shysters. You fucktards. Because there's loads of you. There's loads in the city. I'm talking to you as well. I'm looking straight down the camera. Any of you fucktards who are fucking any of us kids over in the northwest, because you don't want to speak the truth and be a grass of life. Like, I called Paddy Pimlet out for being a grass on one of his own last week. If there's any grass in the city here, Paddy, it's me, mate, because I'm the grass of the truth on life. So you can grass your other mates up for being a shitbag. I'm not asked. But anyone who wants to play that game and be an absolute fucktard and keep this information to themselves, he's a pissing right up the wrong tree. I told you all when I met you, if he's a lies and cheats, you're not going to prosper with me. Because I tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Because every one of us deserves to have the truth. If then we fuck it up, and a load of clowns fuck it up, that's on us to police them. Because that's our shit. Because no one's coming. Not for your mental health, not for your physical health, and not for your fucking wealth health. It's on us to get your head around the paperwork and own your shit. Because very soon, if you just don't own your shit, you're going to have to go on the Bank of Bush and other banks like that, with other kids, to get and ask for borrows, and you're going to be borrowing your own money. Some people expect me, how'd you get the money out of the bank? I don't get your money out your bank. I can't tell people to do this. I can only tell them exactly. I can't make people have the bollocks to go in the bank and own it.
This is where it was coming through, right?
Yeah.
With where you're going. It's all making sense to me now. When you was watching you on Instagram, I was thinking, what the fuck's he on about, Imran Quantum?
You've got to speak
now I know,
sometimes.
Yeah,
it's
but
hard.
now I know where you're going with it all, and it's intelligent shit what you're talking about. It's really,
riddles.
really is. But so when you're going in the bank, you're blowing the bank manager's mind, because he's a normal fucking fella who lives around the corner. He's never looked into this shit. He goes into work and it's a job to him. He knows his finances. He knows it. He knows his job as he knows it. But you're coming to him telling him, listen, that money's not worth the paper it's fucking written on. The name that you've got is a fraudulent name.
Yeah, you're in
So
dishonour.
when you're giving out loans, mortgages, etc.,
signed dishonourable. Every contract that you've had signed by a bank manager, a loan, a mortgage advisor. What's a mortgage? A death pledge. Mortgage, death pledge. You signed a death pledge.
Seeing you said something about that. It's like mortgage was like in French. It comes from France.
Death, mortuary, death. You signed a death pledge. We signed our rights of our right. Oh, what's it called? Right of attorney. Power of attorney. The bank have it. We don't have power of attorney. When you then go and get an ID from the bank, a bank card with your capital letter's name on, you then give your power of attorney to the bank. So all our power of attorneys in our banks on a small print. And we go and sign for this. We sign into the system as adults. Ignorance is bliss. If you don't know, well, we've all got a passport and a driving licence. I explained on Joe Kidd's podcast the other week about taking the ownership of your driving licence back and putting the stamp in the top corner. Get a stamp with your ID.
A normal postage stamp.
Normal postage stamp. Best get £1 because it's a straight unit. And if they say, you owe me 500 quid, £500 of what, mate? Gold, silver, copper, me energy, me sperm. What do you want £500 of, mate?
Potatoes.
What, exactly. I want £500 of what, mate? Sterling. Come on, mate. You know, it doesn't exist really. And they're going to say your name. The minute someone says your name...
So you get your driving licence.
Put a driving licence, put a postage stamp on the top corner. Compound factual, write it, your name through it.
Yeah, the way you did there.
The way you did then.
And then put your stamp.
No, you don't put your thumbprint on it. That then takes jurisdiction over that then. Then you own jurisdiction over driving licence. Then it's just a piece... Then you have the power to use that as a piece of ID just to show your name. So when the police stop you, then go, don't speak to them. They're stopping you in your capacity as a postmaster. You are a vessel delivering the mail. You're travelling from one destination to the other, not driving. You're travelling because you're being, the body, the avatar, is not you. So you're being drove in the car by the avatar, but they use the Phoenician language. So it's. I've been taught this. This is stuff I've been taught. It's just passing it on, pass the book. It's only stuff I've learned and I've been taught.
So you go on the bank.
Go to the bank.
You're fucking with their heads. You're blowing them out because you're trying to teach them. You're trying to explain, but what they're seeing, are they on board or do they think you're crackers or what's the situation?
I've been telling the nationwide for 10 years I'm going to come and do this and be the richest man in the bank. My bank man, so it's a bit weird to be fair of mine. So they're a bit like, yeah, get the police here, then not if you have to, because they don't know until one of them's arrested on camera with a TV camera in the face, cuffs on, hands up the back. Fucking Barry Bingside's like, I'm a common law constable, you get in the fucking van, you little fucktard, get in. They're not going to get it, they're not going to get around it. It's going to take someone like Barry Bingside's walking with me, another 6 kids behind, he's like, today's the day, why? Because we're common law officers.
Today's the day.
I've told him today's the day. I went into HSBC in Chester yesterday, and he was all over it. He was being...
He knew it? He knew what you were talking about, or he didn't?
No, he didn't know what he was talking about, but he was being art-centred. He was being trustful. He was being honourable. He wasn't being a fucktard.
He was listening to what you were saying.
He was going, fair dues, mate. He looked on his computer. He said, it's not on there. Then when the go-to section is, suddenly that information can't be found on Article 60 on the computer. So then he's gone to delete, print something out, and he come back and he just said the boss was going to come back in a minute. He was on dinner, so we haven't gone back. So I want to go to City London next.
So when you've been saying about the Bank of England.
Yeah, the Bank of England.
And you're saying about the 3 crowns.
The 3 crowns. So
what do them 3 crowns represent?
Washington, D.C., City London, Vatican City. The joinder of the 3 of them in bed together as absolute fucking paedophile, fucking curators of fucking hell, demonic Babylon on earth and keeping the system going. From the Romans, the Greeks. You know, it's just
so you've actually taken this shit to the Bank of England?
Yeah, no, I haven't been to London yet.
No.
That's me next.
Okay.
I want to go there Thursday, I think. And just go and put a fucking...
Are you going to publish this? Like, are you going to put this on social media? Are you going to put it on Instagram when you actually go there and stuff like that?
That's my intention, brother, yeah. It'll be getting filmed live. I won't be going without a camera on me.
Where are we going with this?
Where are we going with this?
Robert,
this is us. So 369. So
like to try and like
what's your plan?
To put it into perspective for the layman.
Yeah.
Some people will be watching you right on Instagram who don't know where you're going, because look, let me just tell you this from an outsider's viewing. In your mind, you've got a vision, but that vision only you can see. So you know where this is fucking going.
Yeah.
Now, you've got another dude sitting on his couch in the night time having a scroll. He's had his tea, thinking Caps pops up. Goes, who's this fucking madcap? What's he doing? And he sees you walking around fucking Chester or something. I'm just about to pop in the bank now. I've got the bank manager's head up the wall. It's illegal to use a legal name. He hasn't got a fucking clue what you're going on about.
Yeah.
And then when they do finally, like, maybe may cotton on if they put the time into it, if they want to put the time into where it's going, they might be thinking, so what's the goal? When you do achieve, say if you went in the bank tomorrow and you went, fuck yeah, we didn't realise that.
Yeah.
Shit.
What we're going to do?
Okay, where's it going?
£333,000, split 3 ways. £111,000 for the palliative care hospital for my mum to start in Blundell. £111,000 to sort me and my son out. £111,000 to flood the country. And that's just if I get 333. I'm going for 33 million when I go to Bank of England.
Why is it in 3 and 3?
Why? Because why not go 33s? 3-3?
Is that what you want? Is that what you're asking for?
I'm playing them at their game. I'm just going with. It's
So right, hang on a
ways.
minute. So when they do decide, right,
when they play the game,
and they say what you're saying is right, how would you be owed £333,000? How could you claim that amount of money? Where does that come from? How does that link in? What did they say? Oh shit, yeah, what you're saying is right. Yeah, there's 333 grand. Go and enjoy yourself.
No, because this is this is where people got to educate themselves and be ready and willing to step on the other side of fear. On the other side of fear, false evidence appearing real is a fucking good sign, my brother. Most people don't want to jump off the cliff. Most people are scared in case the water drowns them. The mechanics on here are the same mechanics they've used against us to get the stuff.
What's this bad boy here you've got under wraps?
So in terms of the mechanics on that letter, that proves the thumbprints.
Yeah.
That proves you're living. Once you then post that back to yourself, record the delivery and sign for it, you've proved you're living. The Bills of Exchange 1882 says, once you prove you're living, you can access your trust fund, your weight in gold, what they've been dibbing off.
What is your trust fund?
We've all got one. So we don't know if it's directly linked to the accounts. We've had some information. We don't know if it's perfectly right. So we haven't got to start. But this account is called Fidelity, and we've got accounts at Fidelity. How to link all the information together, it's all coded, so it's hard to get through it. But you're talking hundreds of millions of pounds. You're weight in gold, and it's been maturing since you was a kid on the fact you're going to be in the system and keep going. By the time you retired, every man, about £65 billion you'd be worth.
So when you're entered
stock.
So when you're entered as a number, you are a stock.
You're a stock, yeah, stock.
So we're all current living, walking human stocks, and you want to basically to put this in layman's terms to the people watching, your goal, your primary goal,
I'm in a team
is
of
to
people,
cash yourself in.
Yeah,
to get what you're worth, to get your money, what you're worth as a stock for society. Because when you were born, you said that, something sent over to, was it America?
Yeah, but when you get your national insurance number, that goes on the stock market in America.
So from that point on, that stock grows.
Yeah, and then it matures.
So as it grows and it matures, it becomes worth more and more. And you think by
we are playing the rich men's games against them.
By basically claiming back your true identity would enable you to be able to claim your stocks as a person.
Yeah,
and when you get this fucking money, what's this?
So this is a Chico. Which one's that one? That's a gold one. That's a yin coil. This is the yang coil. So these work like the torus fields of the earth. So these are Tesla machines, basically the Royal Rife machines. Raymond Royal Rife produced a cure for cancer in the 1920s and 30s. One's made of solid gold, 24 karat gold, and one's made of copper. They're in torus field, in sacred geometry shapes, and they produce 0 point energy. Basically, that's what they do. And they can be, that 0 point energy can have frequencies played into it and 0 point, so it can be on any part of your body. It has a different pitch or sound.
And would this heal you?
Yes, brother, it can be used. You can heal yourself. We all are a placebo. But most people are that fucked up here, acidic. To get themselves to 0, they've got to fully live alkaline for ages. To get back to equilibrium, to heal yourself and be able to go into meditation and go, I'm going to fix my knee, I'm going to fix my thing. You've got to get yourself back from up here. So in time, No one will need none of this technology. We are this technology. We are human living cheek oils.
This is basically a push in the right direction.
This is the next. This is the new medical. This is the new medical care.
So right, what would a cheek oil do? Put it in the simplest basic terms. If you were to go into fucking the shop tomorrow and buy one, which you can't, I understand that.
If anyone, in terms, no one really asked me, if anyone would like to purchase or looking to purchase this type of stuff, just get in touch with me. There's no other kids really in the country. There's 2 other kids in Europe doing what I'm doing. There's been a couple of the kids I've met who've tried to be smart ass. But if anyone wants to know information about this, I will give you all the discounts. I don't want to make money off you. This is about educating people. I get 10% discounts off my stuff a minute, and I get 30%.
So if I buy one of these off you, Rob, what does this do for me?
It's helping take your body back. So if you go to PMA NMA, green and red, so positive stuff, negative stuff. Very charged up with negative, we don't even know, because forever we've had frequencies played at us that are working against a negative.
90% of our thoughts are negative or something, innit?
Yeah, it's 50. It's the fight or flight. A440 hertz music, tellies, everything comes at you. A440 on that.
So that's range. The frequency that we receive sound and television.
And that's fight or flight. So your DNA cymatics are going pissed. A432 is the Earth's natural arm of serenity. Once you then do it like that, and you can have one of these walking around all day, so it's getting used to keeping the negative energy off. So we need to
and is A443 the vibration?
A432 is the Earth's natural vibration.
And is A432 the one you want to be on?
Yeah, A432. If you tune a guitar from A440 to A432, it pings your DNA in a love. So you've got it's the yin and yang to it. You've got dark and light. One keeps it dark, one keeps it light, but it's 51-49 each way. It's a very fine line.
So to get to the point, what exactly does this do? How do we use it, and what does it do?
They work together as a system, so they're going with energy like this. So one's going in, projecting energy. One's projecting energy into you, one's projecting energy out. So
what do we plug it into?
So that plugs into my phone, and there's a program on my phone, and on my phone it's audio. So that audio then comes back. So trying to explain. So in a music wave, now when I play audio at you in a nightclub, it channels into your ears, your little cups, and it comes like 2 waves. Sorry.
It's okay.
When you go to a binaural beat or a quantum sound, it might come out like 4 waves. So it's more intense, more quantified. When you go to... I lost my chain of thought here. Sorry, I didn't have any to speak before to come. When you go to a quantum frequency, that's more intense again. Like going 1D, 2D, 3D, 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G. It's just intensifying.
So we're receiving something
on its. So when you do, I don't know if it's hard because it's going back into me quantum experiments. Basically, everything's a wave. So there's a point, and then to get the information from here to there, it's got to be coming in a wave. That rather than playing music at you, takes the music back up to its top level, pinpoint to the wave. So I can send a wave signal to you.
I said to you earlier on, some air music, some feel music.
Exactly.
This shit makes you feel.
That shit takes you back to your meditative state of you being the whole signal.
So right, if we were to if you were to try and make it simple, if you were to put it in the shop, and I come up to you in the shop and said, "Hiya, mate, what the fuck does this do?"
Turns negative energy positive.
And how do we use it?
I can put it into your phone, and it can be used 2 or 3 times a day, 2 or 3 times a week, and it can help you with boosting energy and reducing negative energy. It can help you check yourself, your natural emotions, because it's energy.
Can it heal a certain, like, say if I had a fucking sore elbow?
Some people go, you can't fucking play it, fucking heals. Well, yeah, can fucking start telling people the truth. Yeah, it can heal things. Once you're understanding of all in on it, and it's education. It's just we have to start educating ourselves. So I'm not an expert to be magic tricks, but people in this city have been fixing themselves in the past 8-9 months, because we are all have the ability to be a living cheek coil. That's what we are. Energy, frequency, vibration on our basic maths kit of what we are as a human. This can help us get back to that equilibrium, because we've had a lot of stuff with a sticky bud tree, right, and with a cockapoo, and we've run through the sticky bud tree, the cockapoo. And the cockapoo's fucking coat's mattered to death now. Well, that's us as a human being, is your mid-30s. These can help you blast off the little sticky buds. and get deep down into you. And we can use it as a system. It can be used different ways. I won't. There's certain things I'll keep my mouth shut about because I'm about to take this onto a different level.
Is this the start?
Not even the start. I haven't even took the rules out the box yet. It's about to get. Yeah, it's about. I'm about.
Shit's about to get serious.
Shit's been serious the whole time.
But it's gonna start actually.
I will let one cat out the bag. If anyone doesn't know who Dan Penner is, there's a fucking fellow who lives up in Guthrie Castle in Scotland. He's coming to open mine and my partner's wellness centre in June. So if the city hasn't been prepared, they better be fucking prepared because Grandad Penner's coming. And I don't mind being all day, every day, no days off, you fucking bunch of cunts. Because that's how it's supposed to be. Life's hard, life's tough. We've all been twats and cunts to each other for a long time. And now we need to unfuck ourselves. And the hard work has to be done. And love and light doesn't exist until we get rid of the darkness. And we've all got a dark shadow we need to, unfortunately, fix. And that's the method of my madness, why I explain the things the way I do because we all have the right to have this in our hands, not just elite people, which a lot of the...
Do elite people have them?
Yeah.
Have they had them for a while?
Yes,
people don't know about it?
My business partner's a clever kid. He went about things a certain way when he first brought these to market in America. And in Canada, all the top boxers in the world, Lomachenko's got them, Pacquiao's got them, Mayweather's had them, they've all had them, Anthony Joshua's got them. I won't last him, I lasted him last time, it didn't work for him, you know what I mean? But lots of people have got these, Canelo's got them,
so if somebody wants one of these, they can contact you directly via Instagram, any social medias, and basically just drop you a message, kick into you, and you can sort them out with one.
Yeah, whether you want to buy one, you want to rent one, for the time being to try it before you buy it, whether you want to just find out about technology, I can come to your house and do mobile appointments. This technology can be incorporated. These are just portable. It's PEMF, pulsed electromagnetic frequency devices. These are just portable. This can be put together on a bigger scale and fill a whole building, fill the whole city with an orb with 432.
We need to do another podcast because I feel like I've only touched the surface with you.
Yeah, no,
and I definitely want to get you on again. I'd love to have you on again.
Be boss.
What does the future look like for Ron Quanton? Or for Robert Michael Dixon? Or for Thinking Caps 369?
Yeah, cheers, brother. The one thing that I've been saying, I don't say it because it's ego. I'm going to be the most famous man in the world. That's because when I get to there, then we're all starting to think in a certain way. Not because it's my got to think this way, but when the earth starts thinking 369, and we have 3 hours for ourselves in the morning, 6 hours to work community, and unfuck the fucked up world we've got, cleaning the earth, cleaning the water, litter picking, and then have 9 hours
to rest.
To rest, eat healthy, getting better, doing this, and then ultimately have a New Year's Eve every fucking day, because we're here to ping ourselves every night and do it all again tomorrow. But we're here on different cycles. So I was born July, some kids are born in October. So that 369, my 369 theirs is different. So
I'm born in October, that's weird as fuck.
Is that what it is, brother? Wasn't the 26th, was it?
The 11th.
11th, there you go. 11th. And we all have to coherently work together. So not everyone's supposed to work together, but everyone's supposed to coherently understand what they're doing. So, for instance, me and Mark Cowell, we've both got similar stuff. Both like bouncing around being clowns. Well, we don't see eye to eye because we're on different levels of thinking. That's sound. He's a right winger and I'm a left back. But I've got to ping him crosses every fucking 20 seconds, mate. Out every 5 minutes because he's got to score and set him up. So you don't have to get on with your teammates. You have to know that you're playing the right team for the right reasons because you've all got a common unity.
Thing is, he's doing his thing, you're doing yours, and you'd admire the hustle, and that's that. It's like, it's one of them, look, everyone's out there, everyone's doing their bit, everyone's grinding, and everyone's got an opinion, and it's, do you want to listen to that? Yeah, no. Do you like it? Yeah, no. It doesn't matter. You can come on here and say something to me. I might dig it. Someone watching it mightn't.
What resonates? If it resonates with you, take something out of it. If it does, that's fine.
If they like it, they like it. If they don't, fuck them. That's what I say.
Yeah. I understand the wacky stuff I'm speaking. If people don't quite get it now, you know, it makes sense. They soon will do, because in the end it will. Because
do you know what? I feel like I understand so much more. I've really enjoyed it, and I'm dying to get you on again because I know there's so much more. I can see that. There's more. We've only scratched the surface here, and I think to keep people engaged I think we're better cutting it into 2
Yeah.
because we could keep it here. But people are gonna stick with us for 5 hours.
Yeah.
But I think,
It's like he's still talking.
but I think we've got much more. Most definitely, and I'm dying to see what comes from you for the future.
Thank you. I'm honoured.
And I'm really excited to see what comes, and I'd love to have you on again if you'd like to come on again.
It'd be an absolute honour, a pleasure, brother. Yeah,
Boosh, it makes sense.
I like talking. I like talking about.
Would you like to do any shout outs before we finish? Is there anything at all you'd like to say? Anything you want to shout out? Anyone you want to talk, drop a message to? Or anything you'd like to say to anyone watching? Maybe if they could take something from it, what you'd like them to take from it? What the thinking cap's got to say? What's under that fucking hat? What are you thinking, brother? Or is there any?
Yeah, there is, yeah. I'm starting to get emotional, I'm not going to lie about it. Own your shit. I've come through hell. To own this wacky shit to say. And back myself to the hilt. To the point, I've got very, very good elite friends. One of them specifically, my best friend, spoke about him having a child. We were always a bit different. If I can get my mates to be able to respect me and say to me last week, you're the clever one now, mate. I can do anything. But not even that. Respect is respect. Me and my friend had a fallout a few years ago and didn't speak for a while. My friend's always been the black sheep of the Chester. He's this, he's that. Me and him are both used to it in different ways. I don't mind being mocked and ridiculed for being who I'm being. I chose to come into the planet to say this and speak it, to change the planet for forever. I get it if some of you don't get me. I understand it. This is not about you. Not about adults. Not about big babies. It's about your children. It's about my son and his generation of having music and having their lives done proper. It's about them understanding before they hit 16 and get a national insurance number that it's illegal to use a legal name. It's about the ones who's out there who haven't got a kid with a national insurance number and haven't got a kid with a birth certificate. Don't sign one. It's about us owning our shit and dealing with the shit. Now we can pretend all we want and butter it up. We can. But ultimately, until we deal with this shit, the truth, the whole truth, and I mean the nothing but the truth. No ifs, buts and maybes. You used to sell cocaine. You used to sell fucking heroin. Why are you kidding yourself? Or you used to do this. Or you used to shoot people. Or you've shot him in the back. Or little things like that. The brute honest of who you've been. And you haven't got to do it out in public.
Be honest with yourself.
But if you want to do it in a public place, they're the kids because everyone's watching and leading. And that's why I've been transparent. Because everyone who knows me, like, he's got some fucking balls. But it's the truth. It's not bollocks. It's the truth. And that's easy. I've had to live the truth in a dark place for a long time. It took a long time to be proud for the parents and man I am. I've pulled off magic tricks with my son. I just want to say thank you to him. He kept me alive. Without him doing him and me pulling off the tricks my life would have unravelled 2015, 16, 19. I couldn't have kept it together and my son's kept us together. So thank you, son. Love you.
Thanks for being so open, honest and transparent and
cheers, mate. Thank you. Appreciate
thank you
it.
for coming on.
No,
seriously, it's been an absolute pleasure. More than a pleasure.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Anyone who's weighing on him, fucking get on him. Pink and Caps 369. Top guy. Seriously. Thanks very much.
Cheers, bro.
It's
thank
been
you.
an absolute
thank
pleasure to have you.
Cheers, bro. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks very much for tuning in. We'll definitely get him on again.
Boosh, makes sense.
Until next time, guys. Peace out.
Cheers, thank you.